Street where the boy drums do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they tell come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with this chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2, like the Zulus they had 9 bows and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell, and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lace of Gillishandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
All right, okay. Kept you all waiting for long enough, I think. How we doing? Yeah, I don't know what happened with the timer there. Just like randomly stopped. No idea why. Good to see you. What's going on? Yeah, here we are. I guess I'm streaming later on at night again. I don't see any particular issue with this. Other than I'm having quite an inconsistent streaming schedule. But what's new? What's fucking new? Not a lot is the answer to that. Good to see everyone. How are we all doing? Who we got in the chat? We got Blue Vixen. We got TTK. We got Ninny161. We got Ori. We got Steph. We got Adam. We got Papatayo. We got Drangus Fett. We got Gumba Master. How are you all doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Doing okay? You chilly? Yeah, it's not nearly as cold as it was yesterday here. Today. OBS wanting more tunes and less British nonsense. There is going to be some British nonsense today, I'm afraid. Do regret to tell you that, yeah. Although, actually, it's nothing to do with OBS, sadly. And I've just realised that there's a little cheeky... There was a little cheeky bit on the stream there, wasn't there? That could have been very embarrassing if that was porn, wouldn't it? Anyway, it wasn't, so that's good for everybody. Reaver Sharp B. Hey, how you doing, Reaver? Good to see you. Doing some big time lurking. Hello, yeah, good to see you. Yeah, we got some Britishness. Doing okay despite being at work. Yeah, fuck work. I'm glad you chose to slack off with me. I made hummus from scratch the other night because you said it was easy and it was delicious. It is delicious, isn't it? What recipe did you use? Did you put lemon in it? Did you put tahini in it? Did you put garlic in it? Did you put olive oil in it? I'm interested to know. Gunman Master says, did I miss the Trash Bingus Day? I should probably address this because I've not addressed it. We're not going to be doing Trash Bingus this month just because of the sheer amount of Bingus that has been done over the last sort of like couple of weeks. Basically, on the VOD channel, it's going to be like one politics stream, Bingus, one politics stream, Bingus, and I've kind of got to like, I've got to recuperate. So we're going back with full force in February onto Trash Bingus. That's how that's going to go. I hope everyone's okay with that. I know that that's bad news for everybody, but I promise in the place of Trash Bingus, I will be making my politics streams a lot better. A lot better. Loads. Anyway, Sploot New, it's good to see you. My boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I watch djmuel on company time. Yeah, you should do that. Combat Master said I had too much orange juice and it made my tummy go all rumbly. That's a terrible situation. I hope you recover from it. All that good stuff. Got some lovely olive oil from work. We had some fresh lemons in too. Need a better blender though. It was tough. Yeah, the whole blending of it can be a bit rough. I would just advise if it feels a little bit too, what's the word? If it's not runny enough, is runny the right word? If it's too viscous, if it's getting like more on the solid side of viscous, and you prefer it more on the liquid side of viscous, then you can always chuck in a bit more lemonade and a bit more olive oil, and that's fine. I'm here just making lemon chicken while watching. Hi Prince, good to see you. Lemon chicken is very peng. I made an absolutely badass curry last night, chat, and I wasn't even trying. I just got the fucking what do you call it, crock pot slow cooker out, chucked in a bunch of chicken breasts, garam masala, coriander powder, cumin powder, chili powder, turmeric, cardamom pods, black cardamom pods specifically, cumin seeds, coriander, fresh coriander, tomatoes, mashed up plum tomatoes, onions, garlic, and some cinnamon. And it was really fucking nice. And I divvied them all up into freezer bags, and now it's ready for when I go back to the gym tomorrow, which is very good, isn't it? That's very exciting. What else do I got here? Got to get a blood test for everything later this month because I'm big ill. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, TTK. Let's get some love in the chat for TTK, please. I I remembered it needed water in it and it was somewhat better. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Sometimes the recipes do ask you to put water in it. Yeah. Cooking a vegan steak and ale pie while my girlfriend is at bang practice. That sounds really peng and cool. B-Rat is in the chat. Good to see you, B-Rat. How's it going? Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff ready for you today. Yeah, got a load of like Twitter videos with news regarding Palestine to update you all on. Got a bunch of videos on YouTube to be checking out as well. We've got a lot of content today, so I hope we can get through all of it. I know it's a bit late and should be all right. I think we should manage it, really. No reason not to. And then we've got the Big Joel video about Palestine, which I started to watch a tiny bit of today, and then I was like, no, do you know what? We're going to watch that on stream. Because I promised we'd watch the fucking Thoughts Line video last week, but we never did that. So, in penance, I will be watching a video essay with you all. It feels like a while since we've done all that, doesn't it? When's the last time we watched a video essay on here? We've been watching AI documentaries last night and fucking court hearings and all that shit. Time to get back to some real content, which is stealing other people's content and just having my opinion spoken over it, and also me chatting with the chat, not really paying attention and getting lost and having all that kinds of fun, isn't it? Anyway, so we got that, and then later on, if we got time, we got some British updates. Not much in the way of British updates, just like annoying stuff that I think probably could have most people could have predicted anyway. So that's that really. But in me news, I'm doing okay. Tom's doing fine on his new wet food diet. Very, very cool. What else? He's got a lot more energy, by the way. That's something that I've learned, and he's definitely a lot more affectionate with me. He literally like came right up to me and like snuggled in with me, despite me putting him in a scale, in a bowl to weigh him yesterday. So that's very good. Hey Lily, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Good to see you. So that's that. So that's been that, and yeah, this morning just did some work. Still doing a bunch of research for the video, but I finished the script. The only way that the script is going to change is if I have any communication at all with the production company that I've asked a bunch of questions about. But the basis of the script is done. It's going to be about a half an hour video. Very exciting. If you want to read the script, it's a rough draft. There's going to be a couple of new things maybe taken out or put in there or whatever. It always changes when you actually like record it, and you know, things sound a little bit different and shit like that. So, but if you want to see the rough draft, get on that Patreon. It's in the socials. There you go. So, wait, what? Oh, what the fuck? Why did it do that? So, okay, as you can see, I'm promoting my Twitter again. And that's because, yes, I am on Twitter. Shh, don't tell Elon. Because, of course, I was banned. My other account was banned. So if you want to go ahead and follow me on there, that's cool. It might help me out. I don't know. I'm not really planning on being on Twitter like that much, or posting on there or whatever. It's just like I'm on there to keep abreast of some news that I think I might be missing out on a little bit. I don't think I'm missing out on much, but it's a lot easier to get like Twitter videos and watch those on stream than it is to get like Instagram videos, TikTok videos, etc. And it's not too bad to get TikTok videos, but that's that. But I don't like the way that Streamlabs. Hold up a second. Streamlabs chatbot just decided to like separate that, and I don't know why that is. But anyway, as I was saying, the reason that I put the socials command in the chat, yeah, is because there is my Patreon link in there, and if you want to be able to read the script, then you got to subscribe to my Patreon at Enlightened Socialist tier or above. No, there isn't really like no, it doesn't. No, I've got way longer commands than that, so I don't think it hit the character limit. Let me just try. I think it's because I pressed enter. Had like a paragraph space there. So Twitter, Blue Sky, Muel posting. Let's get rid of that. Oh, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, so if I do this... Oh, no. What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Okay, so now it should work. Now it's all part of one message. Fantastic. That's it. Half an hour. Aren't all YouTube videos supposed to be hours long? Listen, if you want my YouTube videos to be hours long, you gotta give me more money. I gotta get more patrons. That's the compromise that we're gonna have to reach in that regard. Because yeah, I don't have the time to make hours long videos every month, sadly. Oh, hang on a second. I do got to respond to my dad. He's just texted me. I'm seeing him tomorrow morning. Yes. See you then. Okay, perfect. Great. Chat banished by the socials link. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, yes, as I was saying, subscribe to the Patreon, Enlightened Socialist here or above. You can see the script before anybody else. And yeah, you'll also get some other behind-the-scenes stuff, which I'm planning to post tomorrow from my last video. So there's a bunch of outtakes from that video that I'm going to be uploading and shit like that. So that's very exciting, isn't it? Donkus Jonkus Esquire III, Senior, MD. Hello, Odnon. How's it going? And one who reads. Can I get a shout out for Odnon, please? TTK. So that's the update on the video. I'm very excited with what I've written for this video. It's kind of like a little bit different to some of the content I've been making over the last year, 2 years. I didn't really make that much content last year. It's different to some of the content I've been making on the channel. But it is still political, of course, because of course it is. It still has criticisms of capitalism in there, so you won't, miss out on any of that stuff. So I'm hoping that everybody enjoys it. But that should be out, I don't know, sometime soon. The patrons will know first. And that's that. What else have I done? That's it. Did some laundry. I had some of that fake McDonald's food from Aldi. Where, because they do the chicken strips and hash browns. So I had 4 hash browns and 4 chicken strips with rice and peas. It was pretty good. What else? No, that's it. That's my day. I've just been working and yeah. Yeah, I finished work and now I'm doing another type of work, which is me just talking to a camera to all of you little people on my screen. Look at you all there. I see you all. Crazy how that works. You're all in that little box. Anyway, right, so we're going to crack on. I got a bunch of Twitter content to look at. We're going to be having a little update. You are people, it's true. Little gay people on the internet. We're going to be doing a little Palestine Twitter update. So content warning, of course, for genocide, Islamophobia. We're going to see some of that. It's going to be a little bit upsetting. So if you're not up for seeing that stuff today, I completely understand. But this is something that's still happening. It's still ongoing. We need to, make sure that people are not missing out on actually the news updates. So anyway, strap on your hazmats. We're going into the politics section on Twitch. YouTubers, you should be safe because I don't know how to change categories on YouTube yet. So I don't know how to come out of the entertainment category and into the news and politics category. But that's that. I don't know if I should stay in the just chatting category. I don't know if there's any other streamers who know, if I should just stay in the just chatting category, even though I'm doing politics stuff. Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. Is it been known to get more viewers? That's what I want. I want more viewers. I want more viewers to give me more money. I need money. Money me now. Money me. Anyway, we're going to watch this video. This is Claire Daly. If you don't know who Claire Daly is, she's a member of European Parliament from Ireland. She's been a staunch supporter of Palestine for many, many, many years. She's extremely based. I don't know how based she is on other stuff, but I'm pretty sure she's generally speaking quite good. We're going to hear her addressing the European Parliament Let's hear what she's got to say.
Despite the catastrophic death toll it has inflicted, Israel is losing on the ground and in the court of public opinion. There's no way that this ends that doesn't leave
I know it's
Israel
true, Ori.
a pariah state with occupation and apartheid on borrowed time, and they know it. So they're doing everything they can. Desperate acts of aggression to provoke a wider conflict with Lebanon, with Iran, with anybody, to draw in the US, to save them from the consequences of their own actions.
Yeah.
As Yemen shows, Butcher Biden is reporting for duty.
Butcher Biden. Frau genocide.
Ones who have enabled the
Sorry. Let's hear that again.
From the consequences of their own actions. And as Yemen shows, Butcher Biden is reporting for duty. With Europe's Frau genocide by his side, they are the ones who have enabled the continuation of Israeli terror.
Ah, she's fucking great.
It would already be over.
Yes, it would.
Note, Butcher Biden, the ancestors of the Ireland that you claim to be from disown you. Keep our country out of your mouth. And as for von der Leyen and genocidal Germany, with your words and deeds supporting Israel in the ICJ, not in our name. The people of Europe stand with Palestine and with South Africa.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, what a legend. Yeah, I've loved listening to Claire Daly's just like opinions, the things that she like says in European Parliament, like really just based individual in general. I think she represents Dublin North. She's maybe an MP for Dublin North. I'm not sure. I think you could be an MP and an MEP in Ireland. I don't know if that's. I think that might be the case in the UK as well. But anyway, yeah, just true. Like, you know, no lies detected in it. I think that, you know, it's really important to hear the words from someone who's observed, a politician at least, who's observed the genocide of Palestinians for that long, for as long as she has. I know that she's been in politics for a long time. I know she's like very much similar to Jeremy Corbyn in the way that she's like always been on the right side. There might be some criticisms that people have of her, but you know, just that, like, you know, calling Ursula von der Leyen Frau genocide, like, it's fucking so good. So good. She's consistently been doing that, by the way, like, you know, talking about how without any kind of mandate, Ursula von der Leyen, is it von der Leyen or von der Leyen? I can't remember, but like von der Leyen, Ursula von der Leyen has been like, without a mandate from the European Parliament, voicing its support for Israel. And that's just like, you just can't do that. Like, there's nothing democratic about that. You know what I mean? And the EU, you know, proven itself to be undemocratic in the way that it acts. You know, Brexit might have been really good under Jeremy Corbyn, but it wasn't. We got Brexit with the Tories, and it was very shit. So that's that, really. Von der Leyen, more like von der Leyen, exactly. Hey, Fab Forward, how's it going? Hey, Daywo Blue, good to see you both. Let's see what we got next. So if you don't know about this guy, Noah Schnapp, he's the Stranger Things boy. He play the weak-ass boy in Stranger Things that always gets kidnapped. I can't remember. What's his name? But, you know, he's that guy. Hey, Ellie Simone, how's it going? Good to see you. Hey, Mr. Dank. Yeah, Noah Schnapp has been known. Oh, that's it. Will's the character's name. Yeah. He's been voicing his support for Israel and Zionism. It's so incredibly embarrassing, like saying things like Zionism is sexy, you know, and all this kind of shit. I submitted a hard drive headline about Noah Schnapp. What was it? Did it get published? He's totally gay, and his storyline about being gay really matters. We promise, guys. Wait, what's that about? I haven't watched Stranger Things since season 2, because season 2 was just season 1 again. Noah Schnapp responds to criticism. Beliefs I've clearly stated multiple times have been taken out of context. Yeah, this is, you know, This is what he's done. He's said it a lot of the time. And he said it lots of times. He equated Hamas with ISIS. Just ignorant, racist, standard stuff. You know, you can like say as much as you want. Oh, this guy's a kid. He's young. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not politically educated. I'm sorry, yeah, but like, wasn't it Jennifer Lawrence's daughter who was wearing like a top that had Gaza on it with the Palestinian flag? We were looking at that the other day, and Israel, or like Stop Anti-Semitism or something like that, was saying like, this erases the Jewish people. You know, so sorry, you don't get to give him that pass. I think most like Gen Alpha or Zoomer people, whether they're like actors, daughters, children, whatever, I think that's that. I don't think you get that excuse. Anyway, I'll link you if they take it. Yeah, that'd be good to see. Will and Robin are gay without the words actually being said. Oh, cringe. Cowards representation. Yeah, fuck that shit. Anyway, let's have a little look and see what Noah Schnapp has got to say for himself today, shall we?
Hey guys.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, I'm sure this is unrelated. Wait, where is it? Okay. I'm trying to find this actual news. 9th of January 2024 release date. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's been a couple of months, but the thing is that this dropped recently. I'm sure it's unrelated. King Charles versus enlarged prostate 2024. What are you fucking what? What is that? What are you on about? So this was posted like I think late last year or earlier this week or a couple of weeks ago. Oh no, November 7th, 2023. So they've probably started filming or they're about to start filming Stranger Things 5. I'm sure it's unrelated, but this is what he's got to say a couple of days ago.
It's Noah. I just wanted to come on here super briefly just to discuss everything that's been going on online. I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued from anything even close to what I believe.
Wasn't he like on record saying something like all Palestinians are anti-Semitic or they all hate Jews or something like that? Or, you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've heard him literally say shit like, you know, he said some truly heinous shit, like, you know, and my man is literally like, opening scene, Will fucking dies. I hope so. You know, there has to be, a non-apology and gaslighting. Yeah, there has to be retribution for this shit. There has to be retribution for this shit. You don't get to like blacklist actors like. Actors were blacklisted for being communists back in the day, for supporting Palestine. You don't get to do that and then have people like this who've said disgusting things not face anything. It's just not how it works. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck?
And I wanted to just state from my heart how I feel. I only want peace and safety and security for all innocent people affected by this conflict. I've had many open discussions with friends from Palestinian background, and
Friends from... He had to change what he said. Friends from Palestine to friends with Palestinian backgrounds. I wonder, like, how far that goes. Like, is it a friend who knows someone in Palestine? Or is it a friend who is Palestinian in the diaspora? What's going on? I don't know.
And I think those are very important conversations to have, and I've learned a lot. And one of the takeaways I've had is that we all hope for the same things, that being those innocent people still being held hostage in Gaza to be returned to their families, and equally hope for an end to the loss of innocent life in Palestine. So many of those people.
You know what could happen, Noah? I don't know. Like, here's just like a wild idea. But like, if Israel stopped bombing civilians, then they would stop dying, wouldn't they? Yeah, if only Israel was trying to return the hostages. I wonder what that's about. Excuse me. Colleen Ballinger, James Summerton, completionist, gender, now Noah Schnauer, lots of suspect behaviors, excusing heinous behavior. I don't know any of those people that you're talking about, and like, if you're gonna like talk about other content creators, I'm just gonna give you like a fair warning. I don't do drama here. We don't do that shit. So I don't want to hear anyone talking about like completionist or like, you know, whatever. Like James Summerton's a bit different. That's fine. But like, you know, yeah. Anyway. What about the Palestinian hostages held in arbitrary detention? Yeah. Yeah. What about them? Yeah. Maybe Israel could, you know, do the hostage exchange. Colleen Ballinger did blackface. Who? I don't even know who that is. Oh, the pedo. The pedo. The one that did the song. Yeah, I'd forgotten that she existed, and I was quite happy about that, to be honest. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. Who cares? I already, like, did not care about that person whatsoever. Yeah, I wish we could forget. Don't Israel hold like 7,000 people in prison, 2,000 without charge at the moment? Something like that. It's pretty whack. That's true, Anne. Also, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yeah, completely fucked.
People being women and children. And it's horrible to see.
Women and children. Like, again, like, you know, I want to point out the fact that, like, everybody is forgetting that, like, there are lots of innocent men in Gaza and just in Palestine. Like, you know, this whole fucking thing about like military aged men all of a sudden are just like, they're not considered anything. It's very cool for men everywhere to hear that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
See, and I think anyone with any ounce of humanity would hope for an end to the hostility on both sides. I stand against any killing of any innocent people, and I hope you guys all do too.
Right, so, you know, why does he look like he's about to cry? Is he gonna cry?
And I just hope to one day see those two groups be able to live harmoniously together in that region, and I hope...
Damn, you know, it was really, really harmonious before the Zionists got there, so I don't know. Sounds to me like the Zionists are the problem.
For 2024 online, to see people be a little more understanding and compassionate and recognize that we're all human, regardless of our race, of our ethnicity, of our background.
Oh, this is so shit.
Even our sexuality, of anything. We are all human and we're all the same. And we should all love each other for that and support each other and stand together.
This is like peak liberal shit, isn't it? This is like peak liberal shit. You know, oh, I just wish everybody could live in peace. What he's saying by that, yeah, what he's saying by that is he's saying, you know, the Palestinians should never attempt to liberate themselves. They should have never tried to do anything like, you know, take some hostages for a prisoner exchange, just so, like, you know, people who were wrongly imprisoned could be released. Spineless. Yeah, bullshit. Both sides are terrible, aren't they? Both sides.
And together for humanity and for peace.
He did say Zionism
Hey,
is
guys.
sexy, yeah. He's worse than a liberal. No, well, what he's done, yeah, we know he's worse than a liberal, but what he's saying is liberal shit. You know? Yeah, cringe. So we got Mia Khalifa, who says here, the Zionists are losing the plot. She followed me through the lobby, calling me slurs, and didn't stop the entire time she was waiting for her Uber pool at the antique jewelry fair. She's a vendor, something she made abundantly clear, so I guess this is what her business stands for. Okay? Let's take a look at this. I've not seen this, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah. You proud of your mom?
Israel Chai. I'm Israel Chai. You see that?
You waiting for the bus? Because I'm waiting for my valet.
رفتش کن همین الان. چی؟ رفتش کن.
She just like get her son to record this. My God. Are you joking me, dude? What is happening? What is going on?
Real quiet now.
I'm Israel Chai.
Get away from me. Your breath smells
I'm
awful.
Israel
Oh my
Chai.
God. You smell like knockoff falafel.
Bye. I'm Israel Chai.
Hey, Gobs,
Yeah.
what's going on? Can I get a shout out for Goblin Hugger, please? Oh my God, like, you know, it's just like, I have absolutely no idea, like, you know, what this woman's background or material conditions is or anything like that, but, you know, if you're just gonna, like, follow a person through an entire, like, I don't know, shopping center, mall, whatever it was, I don't fucking know, with this, like, smug face, it's just like, I don't know, like, in what world you think that you're doing anything progressive or doing anything, like, cool or good, you know, like, this is like, I'm triggering the libs type of shit, right? This is like the kind of, like, person who would come up to, you know, I don't know, like someone who's got, like, pink hair and say, like, MAGA 2024, bitch. You know, something like that. Like, yeah, trigger the libs. It's kind of like that. Okay, I'll do the shout out for Gobs. Everybody, please go follow Gobs. They're amazing. Anyway, yeah, just extremely annoying. Like, you don't see, like, this is the kind of thing, yeah, that Zionists accuse people who support Palestine of doing. They accuse them of, like, seeing someone who, like, they know supports Zionism and then, like, following them and, you know, being a piece of shit to them. Do you know what I mean? Hey, Johnny, what's up? Everybody go follow Johnny. They should think about why they need to harass a stranger. Well, you know, I think they think that they're doing something funny. Like, the way that she's, like, smiling, it's, like, insane. Like, actually insane. Delusional. You know? But that's because, like, the ideology and cultural, you know, sort of, like, conversation about, like, you know, how people should respond and how people should, like, talk to people is based around, like, yeah, you should be really smug and trigger a lib. You know? Anyway, we got a While They Do update. While Elder Do update. He's left Gaza for medical treatment. His wife, daughter, 2 sons, and grandchild were all killed by Israel. His own life was almost taken multiple times, a symbol of Gazan resilience. May Allah heal all his wounds, physical and emotional. I mean, yeah, this is like, you know, this guy, you know, I've seen videos of him, like, grieving his recently killed family after, like, literally, like, he was there as it happened, when it happened, or like a day after, or even like a few hours after. This man's been through it. Like, if you don't know about this guy, he's basically a press reporter, and somehow he's survived. His entire family have been killed. Yeah, it's really fucking sad. It's really fucking sad. So yeah, I echo that sentiment. I hope he gets well soon. It's yeah, it's disgusting. This is Bisan. She's another press reporter from Gaza. She says, share this. It might be my last video. Bisan is at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, surrounded by the IOF. No internet to cover what's happening. There's carpet bombing all around the hospital. This was last night. This was like literally almost 24 hours ago. So I don't know what the update is today. But let's see what she's got to say.
Hey everyone, this is Bisan from Gaza. I'm still alive. I'm surviving after the day 3 after 100. But that might be the last day or the last night in Nasser Medical Complex, as the hospital is near to the invasion. The tanks are maybe 40 to 50 meters away from us. The soldiers as well. So the situation is really hard. The carpet bombing before this moment was just unbelievable. The bombings are really loud and are so close to us. The situation is complicated. I'm trying to find any internet connection to tell you what is happening, but Nasser Medical Complex is now near to be invaded. It's the last functioning hospital. I'm trying to find any internet connection so I can tell you what is happening. The carpet bombing, the ambulances could not even reach the
Now, what was that, Adnan? You got a link?
Or the people were killed and injured because of the carpet bombing in the areas of Palest1ne, Gizan, Najjar, Jortillut, the west and the south of Khan Yunis refugee camp. People who are
oh, it's Khan Yunis, that's how you pronounce it.
Dozens of thousands are just moving randomly, cannot find any place to go. They try to go to the schools around the hospital or even to the refugee camp itself to find any safe place, while the carpet bombing and the bombings in general.
I'll give you a permit. Yeah, that's like all that she could upload, right? Because, you know, no fucking internet left. No nothing. The IDF are like, you know, consistently. Oh, there was another video? Do we got that anywhere?
Hey everyone, this is Bisan from Gaza.
Could someone find that for me, please? On Insta? Oh, what is it? Like an Insta thing? There's a longer one on Insta. Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, yeah, sure. Well, oh, cool. Am I going to be able to watch this?
From Gaza. I'm still alive. I'm surviving after the day 3 after 100. But that might be the last day or the last night in Nasser Medical Complex, as the hospital is near to the invasion. The tanks are maybe 40 to 50 meters away from us. The soldiers as well. So the situation is really hard. The carpet bombing before this moment was just unbelievable.
Could you just imagine being in that situation and hearing those bombs so close to you?
The situation is complicated. I'm trying.
She last posted 12 hours ago, but she survived the night. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Is now near to be invaded. It's the last functioning hospital. I'm trying to find any internet connection so I can tell you what is happening. The carpet bombing, the ambulances could not even reach the injuries, or the people were killed and injured because of the carpet bombing.
Yeah, you're about Muel al-Dadu. Yeah, that's right, Johnny.
Najjar, Jortillut, the west and the south of Khan Yunis refugee camp. People who are displaced inside the hospital. Dozens of thousands are just moving randomly, cannot find any place to go. They try to go to the schools around the hospital.
Constant buzzing of drones. Yeah, what do they call it again?
Itself to find any safe place, while the carpet bombing and the bombings in general were ongoing during their evacuating. So it was,
yeah,
and still so dangerous for people.
NetBlocks on Twitter was still reporting a near total telecoms blackout for the last 120 hours. Oh my god, dude.
That's so dangerous. This is the last functioning hospital in Gaza. That means that thousands of injuries are still now alone in the hospital. Displaced people are alone in the hospital. They are besieged. We are besieged. I don't know if I can survive this or go anywhere. I'm just alone. Alone as thousands. Alone as many in other hospitals were before. In the Shifa hospital, in the Indonesian hospital in Kamal Adwan. It's a war against hospitals.
Yeah, that's right, Gobs.
Against children, against women, against people with disabilities and injuries. People are just dying. I'm now talking to you in a risky place, in a dangerous place, just watching everything and hearing everything by my ears and by my eyes. Do not tell you anything. It's not true. It's true. They are invading the hospital. I'm trying now to upload this, to leave the phone, uploading this, and just to get away from here. If I could get back to the phone and see if it's published, I will. If I couldn't, then that should be my last video. I'm still alive, but I don't know if I'm surviving this night.
Fucking hell.
It's now 12:32 a.m. 17th of January 2024. Salam. Hey everyone.
Holy shit. Yeah, incredibly moving. Good to know she survived. You know, maybe can't say the same for other people in Gaza and in the West Bank. I know that Israel bombed, I think, a refugee camp in... I can't remember where. Somewhere in the West Bank. Either today or yesterday. Drone strike. So this is why the IDF is killing any journalist that flies a drone over Gaza. They don't want the world to witness the sheer scale of the genocide. This is apparently a video that shows like just how fucked up Gaza is. Oh, it's not a drone. Okay, it's just like someone who's like knocking around in the ruins kind of thing. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. Like, as far as the eye can see, everything's fucked. My God. My God. Fuck me. Absolutely fucking fucked. Anyway, in a bit more lighter news, we got Zach Raid. Zach, thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing? It's great to see you. It's great to see everybody stepping along for the raid as well. How are you doing? My name's Muel. If you don't know me, I'm a leftist political streamer. Currently doing the old Gaza updates. We're just kind of done with the Twitter stuff. Just about to hit that Houthi Chalamet news. So welcome in, everyone. It's good to see you. Who we got? We got W. Pruitt. We also got Zeod UK. How are you doing? Good to see you. YOLO Bong and stuff, welcome in. Adam altogether, good to see you. Mad Cowlix, good to see you too. Arbelin, how you doing? Anyone else? Praxis Mania, good to see you. No, Gaza, or as Westerners call it, Gaza. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, please everybody go follow Zach up. Incredible dude. Good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Thank you for the follows. Really appreciate that. Let's crack on. Let's crack the fuck on. Missed some stuff in chat. I'll never understand how people can read headlines every day like Israel bombs Gaza hospital, kills 50, and Israel bombs Gaza refugee camp, kills 35, and not be like, stop this now. Yeah, it's completely fucked up. It's completely fucked up. In related news, I do know. Hold up. Hold up. Cheryl Weichel, who's a really cool poster on Blue Sky, also like a lawyer, retweeted this last night, and I saw this. We've looked at some of the stuff before, but this is interesting. This is an interesting development. This is basically like, so this person here is saying that Bernie hasn't directly called for a ceasefire, but he's forcing a vote to invoke Section 502B(c) of the Foreign Assistance Act, requiring the State Department to report on Israel's human rights abuses. If the state were to fail to report within 30 days, all military support to Israel would be suspended. This is interesting. You know, I thought it was Israelis that said it that way, right? Yeah. No, that's not right. Twitter equals shitter. Yeah, it is the shitter, definitely. So yeah, this is interesting. How useful this is going to be, I don't know. Again, I think that like most people do forget that, like, I'm not sure. Too little, too late, Bernie. Yeah, I agree, and I also think that like Biden would just be able to executive order his way out of this. One thing I love about Bernie, he doesn't do things unless he thinks they're useful, which gives me hopes for this. Suspect the move is forcing a vote to put senators on the spot for pressure. Not sure about that in particular. There's a lot of liberals probably in that post, but yeah, I do think it's interesting a little bit. But again, is Biden just gonna, like, you know, force his way out of that? So this is, if you don't know about this guy, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you've not been on Twitter. It's mostly on Twitter, this stuff. I think some people have spoken about him on TikTok. But this guy basically filmed a video of him and another Yemeni Houthi rebel go into a massive boat, and there's a tiny square of pixels on the notifications icon left side halfway down that you can see through the browser. What? What are you on about? What are you fucking on about? Oh, that's my green screen. Sorry about that. Yeah. Thanks, Catgirl Steph. Appreciate you. Okay. Anyway, where were we? So, yeah, so people call him Timothy Chalamet because he looks like Timothy Chalamet. I don't know how I feel about that particularly, but people are going on about, like, you know, hot Houthi pirate becomes online sensation. God, you're beautiful. My man said this: I did not talk about beauty or anything else, but our issue is Palestine, and this is not the time to talk about beauty. I hope that my message will reach you, a free Palestine, and we will ignite it against the Israeli aggression that violates human rights. Based. Extremely based. What a legend. He doesn't look like Timothy Chalamet because he's actually attractive. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I mean, you said it. All right, so that's the Twitter stuff. That's the Twitter stuff done with for now, so we can relax a little bit. Dressing up for their armed raid. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Pretty dope. Anyway. So I'm going to change the title of this just very briefly to Palestine update in general. To be honest, I shouldn't have really called this like Palestine Twitter updates because I got a bunch of YouTube stuff as well anyway. So just Palestine updates. Let's move the title a little bit there. There we go. Look at that. Buzzing. That's great. Yeah, I got a video here from Breakthrough News. It's about 7 minutes long. Hundreds of thousands marched to the White House for Gaza. This was 23 hours ago. There's a huge protest at the White House condemning Biden for sponsoring Israel's genocide. Let's take a look at this. Breakthrough News do some pretty good reporting, so go ahead and check them out.
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide.
This is already so based.
Approaching the 100th day of Israel's genocidal bombing of Gaza, hundreds of thousands of people from around the United States traveled to Washington, D.C. for another march on the White House, the second such national march to take place since October 7th. Since the last national march, the Biden administration has done everything in its power to make this genocide their own. From bypassing its own rules to sending emergency...
I'm sorry. I know he's an old guy, but like, I don't even know if it's because he's old. It's like, I just think that sometimes, like, when people become like the president, they have like a weird way of walking. I don't know what it is.
In its power
just that approach was just so odd.
Since
it was so odd.
The Biden administration has done everything in its power to make this genocide their own.
I don't know. Maybe he's just old. He's just old.
To send emergency weapons shipments to Israel using its veto power in the UN Security
Council. They like caption their own videos. I don't need to have the captions on for this. That's pretty good.
For Israel's genocide.
Trying to look like Clint Eastwood.
Military to protect Israel from the Yemeni resistance.
Yeah, it's just the age thing. Focused on not falling over. True.
Palestinians, but judging by the mood on Saturday, it's clear that many people have lost their patience.
You're supporting genocide!
I'm not gonna lie, I very much lost hope with the political arm. If any change were to happen, it's gonna happen from the people.
Yes! He's right, and he should say it!
It's gonna be grassroots. It's gonna be through organizations and news medias that are not very main.
This is why you should be feeling that hopium from all the rallies that you're seeing, chat. Because, you know, this guy, he's not got like a hammer and sickle tattoo. He's not got anything on his clothing that would make you think that he's not like just, a standard, diaspora Arabic guy, literally just like, wearing a keffiyeh. Yeah? That's it. And he is radicalized as fuck. Is grassroots people not political? Yeah, he's on the right track. He's on the right track. Joe Biden walks like a clone that's been coached by aliens that are only vaguely aware of what humans look like. It's true. Yeah.
Stream.
The things he lied about not doing, like, over the whole course of this whole issue, I wasn't really surprised, but I can say that he's not getting my vote. I don't think he should be our president at all.
Based.
We're literally funding what's happening over there. I feel like it's my job to be here.
Liberals screaming, crying, pissing, throwing up.
Protesting and fighting against it in any way that I can.
We're here to show that this matters to us. We will not forget. We will remember. And our vote or our withholding of our vote will be our voice. So if somebody wants our vote, show us that you're going to represent us, not whatever lobbyist, not anybody else, but us, the American people.
Joe Biden has lost almost all support among Arab American voters, just 17% of whom said they would still vote for Biden in 2024, down from 59% in 2020.
Oh, shit.
Cost Joe Biden the election. Take three key swing states Joe Biden won in 2020, Michigan, Arizona, and Georgia. He won Michigan by 154,000 votes, Arizona by 10,500 votes, and Georgia by 11,800 votes. The Arab populations for these states are 278,000, 60,000, and 57,000 respectively. In other words,
the people want a free Palestine.
Among Arab Americans could cost Biden these vital states. Biden's support for Israel has also hurt his chances with the
If they use their voice to get Trump into office, that might be a different message than they intended to send. I don't know, this is what frustrates me about people who, analyze this situation, yeah? I don't know what, I don't know what you don't get. No one is out here, saying, we want Trump instead of Biden. People are using their... the only thing that they can hold against Joe Biden, the only, the smidgen of power that they have against Joe Biden, what could they do? What are they going to do? Are they going to, sign a petition? No, they've got the vote, right? And that's all that they're given by the state. And it's like, oh no, what if Trump gets into office? I'm going to be real for you, yeah? You know? I see them saying that's what they're trying to communicate. What are you fucking talking about? What are you on about? What are you talking about? The only person handing the election to Trump is Biden. Exactly. Exactly. And that's correct. That's correct. There could be a primary. No one's talking about the fact that there could be a fucking primary. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's just like, oh, you're gonna get Trump elected. Yeah, you know, I'm absolutely certain that, like, you know, the same people who don't want to vote for Biden would, you know, suffer under Trump as well. But let's be fucking real. There are people suffering under Biden now. Like, I can't, like, stress this to you enough. You're not smart if you're out there saying, like, oh no, Donald Trump might get elected. Like, no one fucking thinks that's not gonna happen. Yeah, we don't want Joe Biden, you want Trump. That's a whole different sentence. If they refuse their vote to Biden, they send one message on one day and concede control of the country for 4 years. You think the people have control of the country? You think for a second that the most marginalized people in America have any control over their country? Because if you do, that is the most cisgender, heterosexual, white man thing that you could possibly say. Liberal bullshit. You have to vote for 99% Hitler-ass take. Literally. What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about?
Voters, 56% of whom rate his handling.
Biden literally told us when he took office, no one listened. Yeah, essentially nothing will change. I'm all of those things. You don't say!
Last 100 days is poor. His overall approval rating has plummeted to the lowest rating for any president in the last 15 years, at just 33%. In the last week, the Biden administration stooped to genocide denial, with members of the administration calling South Africa's lawsuit alleging Israel.
Like, I just love how fucking liberals are out here in, like, leftist chats being like, don't you understand the importance of voting? Don't you understand we need to keep voting for the guy that's doing the genocide? Don't you understand we need to keep doing it? Otherwise the genocide will be over there, it'll be here. Oh, God. Fucking hell. That'll be much worse, won't it? Like, just such a genuine lack of material analysis of, you know, understanding geopolitics, imperialism in general. Like, fucking do some reading.
Daily violations of the UN Genocide Convention.
Fuck me, dude.
And counterproductive. What does it mean to you that South Africa is raising these
gender apartheid? I'm gonna fucking, like, blow your mind right now. Gender apartheid literally exists. Gender and reproductive apartheid literally exists in the US right now under Joseph Robinette Biden. Yeah? What did he do? What did he do to protect abortion rights? What did he do to protect transgender people? What did he do to protect fucking drag queens? What are you on about?
genocide charges, and, you know, what are you hoping to see?
It means a lot.
So incredibly frustrating.
From a country of South Africa, which experience a rich history of discrimination and apartheid, and the people of South Africa, brave people who went through what the Palestinian people are going through right now. And I'm glad that it's coming from South Africa, from a great country like South Africa. It's not coming from one of the Arab countries around the area. I think they are under the control of the Israelis and the Americans, and I'm really, really happy that there is one country in this world are willing to stand up and say enough is enough. This is genocide, and this has got to stop, and it needs to stop right now.
We have been waiting for 75 years for somebody
to submit a case against Israel to stop their brutal occupation.
Yeah, my man in the chat, like, yeah, I feel your frustration. It's like, yeah, do you actually, though? Do you actually? No, you don't. What you feel is a frustration that the marginalized people that you pretend to advocate for, yeah, aren't doing what they're told. That's what it is. That's the frustration that you feel. You don't feel our fucking frustration. Not by a fucking long shot, bro.
Atrocities against the Palestinian people. We have been waiting, and thanks God somebody just heard our voice.
That's the overall thought process where I'm from. Women's reproductive rights, vote for Biden. Yeah, but he's fucking literally like, those things are going away under Biden. He's not doing anything to protect him. He's going, oh, I can't do anything because the Congress. And then the Congress signs a fucking thing, votes for a thing that says they're not allowed to send any more aid to Israel. And fucking Joe Biden's like, actually, no, executive order. Boom, done. When are fucking liberals going to understand that the democracy that you have in America is a lie? It's always been a lie. I think Praxis is agreeing with us. It's difficult to know nowadays. I think we could agree Biden sucks, but perhaps Trump sucks more. No, Trump is just more honest about it. This is what you don't understand. They're both two sides of the same fucking coin. They're both the head of the state of the country that is the leader of the imperial core. The problem is we don't have another option. Yes, you do. It's called organizing. The problem is that you live in capitalist realism and you cannot imagine another existence where capitalism doesn't exist. It's easier for you to imagine the end of the world. I know that's not your fault. So I can make apologies for that to a degree. But it's so incredibly frustrating when I hear people say, we have to do the thing that the system tells us to. We have to do the thing that the fucking system tells us to. Fuck the system. My man's called Praxis Mania and saying like, we don't have another option. What are you fucking on about? Do you even know what your name means? Like, what are you talking about? Do you know what your name means?
Finally submitted this, and we are deep in the debt of the South African country and people. And as Nelson Mandela said, without free Palestine, our freedom is not full.
Biden is in a further bind in regards to Yemen. The Yemeni resistance has blocked all Israeli ships passing through the Red Sea, choking off Israel's supply lines in solidarity with Gaza.
Right. Listen, Ziod, I know that you're fucking backtracking now. You're literally getting, like, backtracking now because you think, like, oh, shit, actually, yeah, they fucking got me here. You're saying, like, so organize and vote for the lesser of two evils, lol. Use all the levers at your disposal. Do you think for a fucking second that people weren't saying that? You were out here, like, literally, like, watching an Arab person, literally a black woman say, he's not got my vote, and you're like, oh, they might get Trump elected. Like, what do you want? You want a fucking smart medal? You want a fucking smart medal? I don't understand why you're getting so hyped. Because people I love, yeah, people I fucking love are already suffering in that fucking country, yeah? Maybe you don't know because you live in Massachusetts, yeah? Good for you, innit? Good for you. Bruh, did you vote? Right, get out of here. Fuck you. No liberals. No liberals allowed. See you later. Goodbye. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck off. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Right, we can all relax now.
Biden's primary roles is to protect American capital, and he went as far as to carry out airstrikes in Yemen, killing several Yemenis, making it clear to voters that he considers the flow of trade more important than Palestinian lives. But the
stupid fucking prats. Christ alive.
American ships, forcing Biden to decide if he's willing to turn this into a regional war by throwing U.S. forces into the mix. Wall Street and the billionaires are counting on Biden to defend their ships at all costs, but in doing so, Biden would be doing the very thing that his base doesn't want to see.
Hey, Huska, welcome to the stream.
US forces being deployed to defend Israel.
Yemen has
hey, Kuzaget.
A country that's been consecutively bombed by 4 U.S. presidents, bombed, and they're facing famine, and not because they don't have the resources or because they're weak, but because they've literally been targeted, and yet somehow the weakest, poorest country in the Middle East has been the one to come to the aid of the Palestinians.
Excuse me.
At the cost of other lives. They haven't killed a single person. They haven't murdered.
Someone who places such power and importance on their role in electoralism, they don't seem to understand the concept of giving up all their leverage by accepting lesser evilism. Literally! That's the fucking thing! I'm from Massachusetts, Muel. They were full of shit. No, what I was trying to say to them was that, you know, oh, you live in Massachusetts. Maybe your state hasn't had an abortion ban. Cool. Do you know what I mean? Good for you. But there's people I know in fucking states over there who have. Yeah, they got to deal with that. Can't get abortions. Can't get trans healthcare. You know what I mean? I don't even live in the US and I know people who are suffering. Like, you know, motherfuckers from Massachusetts. Socialism is when Elizabeth Warren.
A single person, yet the backlash from the U.S. and from the UK has cost them lives. They've bombed their capitals. They went to their homes. They haven't come near our homes here in the U.S., but so Yemen, we are proud of you. We love you. We appreciate you.
You know what it is, right? Cishet white men, and I don't know about that fucking Praxis Mania guy, whatever, whoever the fuck that was. Yeah. Cishet white guys like that Zod UK, you know, when it comes to Trump, they're like, oh no, we might actually get attacked now versus before when actually we're quite safe. Do you know what I mean? It feels like invoking Trump as a threat to minorities who are more left than the US democratic system permits and are acting too unruly. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's tone policing. It's tone policing. It's saying, don't you do that. Oh, you know, be careful what you say because you might get genocided. I still won't get genocided, but you might. Fucking Praxis Mania. What fucking praxis is that prick doing? Fucking Praxis Mania, my ass. Never heard anything fucking like it.
Shout out, Allah yakhallikum ya Yemen, انتو معانا. Shout out to my brothers in Yemen, who are the only country, they don't have their own water, they don't have their own food. Allah yakhallikum ya Islam for Yemen and South Africa.
Weaponized privilege at its finest, literally, yeah. Gomba Master, can I just ask you, by the way, like, did you leave the YouTube chat because the YouTube stream ended? Let me just check my email, because I got an email like this last night. And it said, YouTube stream ended because copyrighted material played. It's still going. Oh, thanks for checking. Okay, cool. All right. No worries. Here's the thing, though. Massachusetts, even... Oh, thanks, Jessica C. Appreciate that. Welcome in. You're watching on both? Cool. Very cool, actually. Here's the thing, though. Massachusetts isn't even that left. Massachusetts voted to tax rich people for their fair share, and Massachusetts governor worked around it to give billionaires in the state tax breaks. Yeah, cool. Imagine watching you on both. I'd never. Hey, Vord, how's it going? Yeah, I saw that, then it came back after a bit. Probably the Friends part. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Thank you for dual watching the stream. It's not necessary, by the way, if it's something that's stressing you out. But I do appreciate that because I don't know how YouTube's algorithm works. I did vote in Massachusetts election. Dumb prick. I know they're gone, but I'm still mad. Yeah, for sure. Everybody in the chat just in like both chats. Everyone who's on Twitch is on YouTube. Vice versa.
These are the true men of the world, the true women who support, and we may different.
Our governor's a Democrat, right?
But we're all a part of the human race, and when one part of us bleeds, all of us bleeds.
No one could have predicted that Palestine would be the issue that could make or break this coming election. But in hindsight, is it really that much of a surprise? This is, after all, a modern day...
You know, and like, that fucking thing that fucker said, I don't know why you're getting so hyped. Man, I'm bisexual. If I was in, you know, the US, I would be shitting myself at every single point of my existence over the last year, the last 4 years. You know what I mean? Don't care if Joe Biden's been in office. There's still been horrific things happening. Do you know what I mean? These fuckers think that, like, you know, stochastic terrorists don't exist, and that, like, you know, there could be people who are completely radicalized. You could be in a fucking gay club one night and all of a sudden you get fucking shot up. You know? Double TTK, 20 tiny kittens. That's fucking right. I will hydrate, Blue Vixen. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Shit show of liberals telling us that we're wrong. Yeah, it's very cool when that happens, isn't it? Yeah, very cool.
Genocide being perpetrated in our name using our tax dollars. For all the lip service US politicians give to upholding human rights and democracy, for some reason they never thought their own support for the genocidal Israeli state would come into question. Biden wasn't actually home.
Uh-oh, watch out. You might get Trump elected. Uh-oh.
But if there's any lesson to take away from
naughty queer guy, you could get Trump elected, you know, buddy. Uh-oh.
From the last
naughty.
It's that this issue isn't going
fuck
away
off
anytime soon. It would do Biden well to come out of hiding and to face.
Yeah, liberals don't like to admit it, but they're grateful Trump is around. Yeah, because they use Trump as a fucking wedge. They use Trump as like a threat. Literally, like Mark Salmon said just before. You know what I mean? Like, here, like, oh, what about that guy though? Better vote for our guy. Fucking stupid twat.
You head on. Because it's
Pulse shooting happened under Obama, literally.
Complicated to see things. Protesters have been offering him a way out since day one, and it's a mild ask at best.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're saying to us.
And hold the perpetrators accountable.
Well, that was a good video anyway. Let's check out the GDF version of what do you call it? The debunking Israel's defense speedrun. I said that we were going to watch this today, so we're going to do that. I'm just going to real quick grab a jacket because it was warm in here and now it's not, and I imagine that's because it's nighttime or something like that. Anyway, chat, take your meds, have a wee, have a stretch, whatever. Back in a tick. Okay, chat, don't laugh. I'm gonna wear Lena's Udi. Oh, this thing is fucking. It feels weird inside. It is kind of cozy though. She did say, "Can I get you a Udi?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't. You look cozy as fuck. It's kind of cozy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have. Oh, I do have a Ushanka. I lost my Ushanka. I lost the Ushanka with my anarchist pin badge on it, but I got loads of anarchist pin badges because that's my merch, so I could just put another one on. Anyway, let's watch this video. Hey, Adventures of Tony, welcome to the stream. Based and cozy pilled, snug mule. I know. I don't know where it is. I don't know what happens to it. The colour is very Grimace. I said that to her. She had no idea what Grimace was. She goes, "Why are you saying that?" I'm like, "It's not an insult. You just look like Grimace." Okay. Alright. It smells a lot like her, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she's not washed this. Little tinky winky, yeah. Right, okay, we're gonna watch this video. Hey, Roll of the D, good to see you, long time no see. All right, let's check this out.
I watched Israel's response to South Africa. Let's get right into it.
The court meets this morning to hear the State of Israel present its single round of oral argument in the case concerning application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip, South Africa versus Israel. I shall now give the floor to the co-agent of Israel, Mr. Tal Becker. You have the floor, Excellency.
If there have been acts that may be characterized as genocidal, then they have been perpetrated against Israel.
There needs to be a capacity or a capability to commit a genocide. To be able to engage in the level of violence associated with genocide, perpetrators need time to develop the capacity to do so, mobilize the resources, and take concrete steps that will help them to achieve their objective. The Hamas incursion was repelled in a couple days.
There we go.
When Israel withdrew all its...
Gen Z does know that Grimace exists, right? But that's just because of the Grimace shake that came out on Grimace's birthday last year. There we go. I'm so fucking cozy, chat. This is ridiculous. Anyway, check this out, right? So this guy says, if there have been any acts of genocide committed, it's been against Israel. When literally we watched the entirety of the South Africa's hearing, and they literally said, in order to commit a genocide, you have to be a state. Hamas is not a state. Absolutely incredible scenes.
Mobilize the resources and take concrete steps that will help them to achieve their objective. The Hamas incursion was repelled in a couple days.
When Israel withdrew all its soldiers and civilians from Gaza in 2005.
My gaff is still chilly, that's right.
With the potential to become a political and economic success story.
In 2012, Amira Haas wrote for Haaretz an article confirming the existence of a so-called Red Lines document. The Red Lines document...
I don't know who GDF is, but like, if they could just do a little better with their audio, that would be great.
Document calculates the minimum number of calories needed by every age and gender group in Gaza, 2,279 calories per person per day. From this, they reduced the quantity of fruits and vegetables, milk, and meat and poultry. The idea is to put the Palestinians on a diet, but not to make them die of hunger. The quantity of fruit and vegetables Gaza could produce for itself was expected to decline from 1,000 tons a day to 500 within a few months due to the Israeli ban on bringing in seeds, as well as the ban on exporting produce.
Remarkably,
oh my God.
Counsel for the applicant described the suffering in Gaza as unparalleled and unprecedented.
The devastation.
Yes, I mean, that's correct. What's wrong with that?
And the scale of the campaign was affirmed by none other than an investigation by the Washington Post. The evidence shows that Israel has carried out its war in Gaza at a pace and level of devastation that likely exceeds any recent conflict. Aleppo, they say, is 1.5 times the size of northern Gaza. However, nearly...
The thing is that South Africa provided evidence to back all of their stuff up. Where's Israel's evidence for any of this stuff that they're saying? No, it's not true. They're lying. Bro, there's evidence. Like, what are you on about?
Twice as many structures were destroyed in northern Gaza in 7 weeks as were destroyed in Aleppo over 3 years. There's also Mosul, Iraq. In Iraq, as reported by the Associated Press on December 22nd...
Isn't this what the English did to the Irish in the 19th century? Yeah, it was worse what we did. Ireland was producing enough food, and we were taking it and shipping it out.
During the 2014 to 2017 campaign to defeat the Islamic State in Iraq, the U.S.-led coalition carried out nearly 15,000 strikes across the country.
Mental.
By comparison,
Mental.
the Israeli military said they conducted 22,000 strikes in the last week.
What is actually unparalleled and unprecedented is the degree to which Hamas has entrenched itself within the civilian population.
Insane. Just insane.
Throughout the Strip, with thousands of access points and terrorist hubs located in homes, mosques, UN facilities, schools, and perhaps most shockingly, hospitals.
Yeah. Again, like, you know, this was all presented by South Africa saying, like, Yeah, no, there's no evidence of that. No evidence of Hamas using hospitals.
Every civilian casualty in this conflict is a human tragedy.
The current Israeli War Cabinet includes Gadi Eisenkot, who, in 2008, while IDF Chief of Northern Command, conceived the Dahiyya Doctrine, whereby civilian areas
and you know, again, like, it's just so incredibly, like, what they could do if they really wanted to try and defend, do an actual proper defense of it, yeah, is they could take all of the different claims and debunk them one by one, right? But they're not doing that. They're not you know, in order to do that, they would have to be there for like twice as long. And I don't know how long they were there defending themselves. Defending themselves, that's a bit of a joke, isn't it? They rarely defend themselves, and now they're being forced to. Anyway, they called it a famine when it was taught to us in school. Didn't learn about Irish food production, yeah. It's not called a famine by many people, that's very true. In a few weeks, it'll be Hamas has infiltrated the Hague. Yeah, it will be. It will be.
Will be disproportionately attacked by Israel in response to rocket attacks. Israel would take one important lesson away from its war with Lebanon: its complete obliteration of the Beirut suburb of Dahiyya, and a new initiative led by former IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot would bear its name. What happened in the Dahiyya quarter of Beirut in 2006 will happen in every village from which Israel is fired on. This isn't a suggestion. This is a plan that has already been authorized. Retired Major General Giora Island would invoke Dahiyya in his policy prescription for Israel in the event of another war with Lebanon. Serious damage to the Republic of Lebanon, the destruction of homes and infrastructure.
They would also have to have evidence that contradicts the charges. That's true. One who reads, yeah.
Consequences that can influence Hezbollah's behavior more than anything else. According to several Israeli officials, as reported in an investigation by the Israeli 972 magazine, the bombing of power targets meaning private residences as well as public buildings, infrastructure, and high-rise blocks, which sources say the army defines as power targets.
Like, when it says power, what it means is places where people are able to, like, survive from. Like, things that people are able to survive with. It's just, like, so fucked up.
Is mainly intended to harm Palestinian civil society, to create a shock that, among other things, will reverberate powerfully and lead civilians to put pressure on Hamas.
But the court is not told how many thousands of casualties are in fact militants. Israel's lawful aims in Gaza have been clearly and repeatedly articulated.
He just moves on quite quickly from that, doesn't he? Thousands and thousands of combatants are militants. Okay, can you show us proof? I guess he doesn't do that.
By its Prime Minister.
You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible, and we do remember, and we are fighting.
Its Defense Minister.
We'll remember that it was on October 9th when Defense Minister Yoav Gallant announced
no food, no water, no gas, it's all closed. We're fighting animals and are acting accordingly.
Just days later, he told troops, amid growing tensions with Lebanon, he revealed,
it is the citizens of Lebanon that will pay the price of these kinds of mistakes. What we are doing in Gaza, we can do in Beirut.
And all members of the War Cabinet, as the Prime Minister reaffirms.
No, they're not taking it seriously. That's right, Mr. Dank.
With regard to bringing the population back, in the words of Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs Eli Cohen, at the end of this war, not only will Hamas no longer be in Gaza, but the territory of Gaza will also decrease.
Or to displace its civilian population.
On December 14th, the World Food Program published a food security update where they reported that more than 85% of the population of Gaza have been displaced.
That's right.
I now invite Professor Malcolm Shah.
Hamas's explicit goal is to eradicate Jewish life from the Holy Land.
Setting aside the fact that Hamas rarely invokes the Charter, according to a 2009 report from the United States Institute of Peace, a federal institution which read, The charter itself contains statements that reflect a lack of hostility toward Jews on the basis.
Yes, I'm fucking so glad that people are finally fucking saying this. It's absolutely absurd. Like, every single time. Like, the first thing that I did when I heard that was I Googled Hamas charter. I Googled it and I read it and I looked for anti-Semitic statements in there. And yes, they do say the Jewish state of Israel or something like that. I think I'm fairly certain they say the Zionist state, but they could even say the Jewish state of Israel, but they'd say the Israel, not every Jewish person, not all Jews everywhere, not all Jews in the fucking Holy Land. They don't say anything like that. You can find this stuff. It's not like a conspiracy theory. It's not like a far left, absolutely like, absurd idea that has no basis in reality. It's findable. It's fucking, you can cite the source. You could literally point to it and read it and go, oh, that's what it says. Not only that, but there are two of them.
Of religion. For example, as Article 31 states, under Islam, the followers of the three religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, may coexist peacefully and safely. According to the Rand Corporation, the major defense think tank, Hamas dropped the language explicitly calling for Israel's destruction, which suggests an effort by Hamas to portray itself as more of an Islamic national liberation movement.
Yes, exactly. Like, they had that initial charter that was saying, actually, we want to destroy the state of Israel. I'm not saying that that's something I disagree with. But, they actually changed that. They actually changed that to say, we don't want that anymore. We just want liberation for the Palestinian people. Hamas, definitely reactionary in some ways. I don't think that, you can sit there and say that they're an anarchist leftist organization. But again, what you do have to remember is that there are absolutely anarchist Palestinians who are fighting against Israel right now. They may be like under the Hamas banner, they may be like under the PFLP's banner or whatever, but you can't say to me for a single second that there are no anarchists who are like doing this defense in fucking in Gaza right now.
These atrocities do not justify violations of the law in reply, still less genocide, but they do justify, mandate even, the exercise of the legitimate and inherent right of a state.
In the Fallout games, the Ushanka is a +1 intelligence. That's based.
To justify criminal behavior per the Rome Statute. The fact that the person was involved in a defensive operation conducted by forces shall not in itself constitute.
Liberation of Palestine pretty much implies the abolition of Israel. Yeah, but the liberation of Palestinians is what I said, and that is what I think is in the charter.
A ground for excluding criminal responsibility. Further, the Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia ruled in its decision for Milan Martic that the rule which states that reprisals against the civilian population as such, or individual civilians, are prohibited in all circumstances, even when confronted by wrongful behavior of the other party, is an integral part of customary international law and must be respected in all armed conflicts. Reprisals must always be proportionate to the attacks to which they are responding and must never aim at civilians or protected objects. If these conditions are not respected, then it is an act of revenge.
That Israeli forces have transgressed some of the rules of conflict, then the matter will be tackled at the appropriate time by Israel's robust and independent legal system.
Oh my God, don't even fucking talk to me about Israel's robust and independent legal system. We were watching that fucking interview with, what's his name? I want to say Ophir or something like that. He's the liberal Zionist Israeli, and he's like, I support the genocide charge from South Africa. And he was talking about a Supreme Court decision that was just ignored or whatever. I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
The last large-scale invasion of the Gaza Strip was in 2014, Operation Protective Edge, as it was called, which Amnesty International called deliberate destruction and targeting of civilian buildings and property on a large scale carried out without military necessity. "I've never seen such massive destruction ever before," said then Red Cross Chief Peter Maurer. Yet only 4 Israeli officers were convicted of any wrongdoing. The harshest sentence was 7 months for stealing a credit card.
Oh no. 7 months in prison for stealing a credit card. Okay, cool.
2 soldiers who used a 9-year-old child as a human shield received 3-month suspended sentences. No jail.
As from Israel's withdrawal of its civilian and military presence from Gaza in 2005, which brought an end to its belligerent occupation.
It's more popular to say that
it does, Tony. Thanks so much for being here. Take it easy.
Even though it enforces what a UN report described as a medieval military blockade, controlling imports and exports, export taxes, the territorial waters and airspace, and has blocked the building of an airport and seaport. They control electricity lines, the underwater cable that phone calls are placed on, the network that provides internet, and the frequencies assigned to Palestinian cell phone companies. There's a reason Human Rights Watch, the International Committee of the Red Cross, the United Nations, and Israel's leading expert on international law, Professor Yoram Dinstein of Tel Aviv University, have all concluded that Gaza is occupied by Israel.
Yep.
It is therefore responsible for its population. It has failed considerably at maintaining their well-being.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territories reported in 2022, Gaza had undergone a multi-decade process of de-development and de-industrialization, resulting in a 45% unemployment rate and 60% poverty rate, with 80% of the population dependent on some form of international assistance. As Palest1ne concludes, Israel has continued to control nearly every aspect of life in Gaza from outside.
And I now give the floor to Ms. Galit Ragwan. You have the floor.
The application presents Israel's call to civilians to evacuate areas of intensive hostilities, quote, as an...
Automod held a message for Reason. Smart detection. Allow will post it to chat. What is this smart detection thing? Yeezy fan. Trump 2024. Oh no, dude. I'm so triggered. I'm so fucking triggered, dude. Oh no.
To bring about its physical destruction, quote. This is a particularly egregious allegation. Evacuation of civilians is recognized under international humanitarian law as one of the measures that may be implemented to protect civilians from the effects of ongoing hostilities.
What?
Indeed, such evacuation may even amount to a duty that the party to the conflict...
Oh my god, shut the fuck up. They told them to evacuate and then they fucking bombed the places. They fucking bombed the places where they evacuated them to.
has towards civilians.
Israel's energy minister Israel Katz made it clear when he said, all the civilian population in Gaza
this lady is the worst.
Ordered to leave immediately.
Hey Lady Horatia, yeah, new Big Joel video.
They will not receive a drop of water or a single battery until they leave.
Yeah, right, Mr. Dank,
Indeed,
yeah.
The alternative to leaving was declared in no uncertain terms by Defense Minister Yoav Gallant.
Those who want to save their life, please go south.
And by ID.
Trump would love your beard. No, what Trump loves the most is brainless idiots supporting him like you, because what that means is that he gets to carry on lying to your face, telling you that he's gonna like do all these things for you, he's gonna attack the deep state, he's gonna give states more rights and all this kind of stuff, when actually he doesn't do any of that, makes himself and his friends a lot more money, and you know, you're still in the shit, aren't you? You know, your life's not improved. You're still going around in Twitch chats thinking that you're triggering liberals when you're actually in, you know, communist anarchist chats, and no one here actually gives a fuck about electoral politics.
Have leaflets and cell phone audio.
Which is just embarrassing, really, isn't it?
Messages. Your presence north of Wadi Gaza puts your life in danger. Whoever chooses not to leave North Gaza to the south of Wadi Gaza might be identified as an accomplice in a terrorist organization. And the destruction of homes and property ensured that there's nowhere for them to go back to. In the trial judgment for Mladen Neledilic and Vinko
That's very
Milanovic,
true, Mr.
the Criminal
Dank.
Tribunal for Yugoslavia interpreted that the deliberate destruction of homes was indicative of intent to forcibly displace civilians. When a genuine evacuation takes place, there is an obligation to bring the population
Hey,
back
Queen Pip,
when
what's good?
hostilities
Good to
have
see
ended.
you.
No
They don't want to
attempts
risk losing their account, so all we're getting is weak
most of
sauce.
their
It's true.
houses were torched.
The IDF.
You aren't even American. Why would you care? Why would I care what you think? Bro, you came here. You seem to care a lot about what I think, actually, because you came here into my chat saying Trump 2024. So, I don't know, man. Like, you came here, like...
maintains a civilian harm mitigation unit. It works full-time to provide advance notice of areas...
Wait. This isn't true. This isn't true.
Were made. In fact, most of their houses were torched.
The IDF maintains a civilian harm mitigation unit.
No, they don't. No, they don't. That's just a lie. What are you talking about? Listen, if the IDF has a civilian harm mitigation unit, yeah, whatever, right? I guarantee it doesn't actually do any of that. Secondly, we all know that the Israeli Defense Force is actually the Israeli occupation force, isn't it? It's actually the Israeli attack force, yeah? And if there's going to be a civilian harm mitigation unit, I can guarantee, without even like thinking too much about it, that it is definitely a civilian harm encouragement unit. Like, that's definitely what it means. You know?
Works full-time to provide advance notice of areas in which the IDF intends to intensify its activities.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant ordered over 1 million residents in Gaza's north to relocate south. Gaza's north contains all of Gaza City and the largest hospital in all of the Gaza Strip, Al-Shifa. The New York Times also reports that while fleeing, an Israeli airstrike struck a convoy of vehicles trying to flee the north along a main highway. Despite the evacuation order to separate Hamas from the civilian population, Israel is still bombing the south, which is crammed with hundreds of thousands of fleeing refugees. And as I reported days ago...
Bro, you think you're so smart. You genuinely, like... think that you're like doing the good fight for the Republicans. You're like coming into leftist chats and trying to like destroy the morale so that we'll somehow like give up. Like, you know, my man just said in the chat, he just won the Iowa caucus by the largest margin ever, so he obviously has massive support. Yes, he does have massive support amongst the electorate, the Republican electorate. Yeah. Like, my man's out here like, it means that everybody loves it. You've got it all figured out. Yes, we have, actually. We have. Made in Manhattan was once the #1 movie in America. Stop it.
Last Tuesday, the IDF spokesperson said the emphasis is on damage rather than on precision.
Israel has publicly stated repeatedly that there is no limit.
15% of all Iowa Republicans even voted in the primary. Yeah, it's just so funny, man. It's so fucking funny. We're so triggered, bro. You're doing it. We're definitely going to stop being leftists. We're just going to give up and support Trump now. Yeah, you win. Okay. All right, bro.
The amount of food, water, shelter, or medical supplies that can be brought into Gaza.
I wanted to begin with a new report from Human Rights Watch. The Israeli government is using starvation of civilians as a method of warfare in the Gaza Strip, which is a war crime. Israeli forces are deliberately blocking the delivery of water, food, and fuel. They remind us that this was not an unfortunate, unintended consequence.
Yeah, I don't appreciate you, like, threatening my chat, so, yeah, you're out of here, dickhead. You only have less than a year left to backpedal. Have fun while you can. Like, like, literally, like, it's so funny. They're indistinguishable, aren't they, actually? Liberals and Trump voters. That's a great example. That's actually a great example of, like, what we were talking about before. You know? You've only got less than a year left to backpedal. You need to change your attitude. They're exactly the same as liberals. You know? Extremely similar. Excuse me.
consequence of war, but a plan which was openly stated ad nauseum by Israeli officials. The Israeli energy minister, the
Scratch a liberal, that's right. Yeah.
Energy into Gaza, stated on October 16th, I strongly oppose the opening of the blockade and the introduction of goods into Gaza on humanitarian grounds. According to Human Rights Watch, the Israeli army has also been employing bulldozers, in an example that can hardly be called unintentional. Since the beginning of the Israeli military's ground offensive on October 27th, satellite imagery reviewed by Human Rights Watch indicates that orchards, greenhouses, and farmland in northern Gaza have been razed. The razing of agricultural land continued in northern Gaza during the 7-day ceasefire.
Like, it is genuinely far more annoying to me to have liberals come in the chat than Trump supporters. You know, I did used to like ban Trump supporters immediately, but they're actually very funny. They do have like a degree of entertainment to be like gotten from them. Do you know what I mean? And there's like a slight chance that by like saying something along the lines of, actually you're a rube, you're being played, you know, your fucking boss thinks you're a fucking idiot, and just needs your vote to make more money. And like maybe that'll like plant the seeds somehow, you know? Whereas liberals, like, you know, if they're so like, at least Republicans know that they're the bad guys, right? They know they're the bad guys. They don't give a fuck. They're not trying to like actually like argue that like what they think is good or the best. They just like keep derailing and shit like that. Liberals are literally just like, you know, no, we're good actually. We're saints. Some kind of like extremely purist, angelic, dogmatic, zealous shit. You know? I know that the Trump side have that too. But like liberals have it like in like a really fucked way. I think they have it like without God, which makes it like weirder. It makes it a bit more depressing. It's like, oh, okay, so you're not suffering from like religious trauma. You're just like, well, they might be suffering from religious trauma, but like they're repeating that trauma. They're like projecting that trauma in a non-religious way. I don't know. I feel like that was like a very incoherent thought, but I think everybody understands what I'm on about. Anyway.
Which began on November 24th.
Yeah, the bewilderment we don't care about electoral politics is hilarious.
The Israeli military
very
was in
pathetic
direct
trolls
control of the area. Farmers in this area planted crops.
Yeah, Republicans won't lie.
Potatoes.
That's one benefit.
Prickly pear. Contributing to...
I'm going to see if this has any replies. As of now. I'm going to go on Blue Sky and check this out and see if there's any replies yet. It doesn't appear that there are. But, oh! They deleted it! Okay, I wish I'd have taken a screenshot. Because, like... can I get, like, Benny's, like, actual... Hang on, because Benny on Blue Sky was like... Where is this?
Hello, me old chum.
Oh, there's like a... Thank you for the follow. Okay, so it was this person. So, like, Benny was talking about how, like, sometimes liberals use the word trans as, like, a slur, right? And then this person was like, actually, liberals are the ones fighting for transgender rights, right? To a trans person, literally to a trans person, yeah? I just find it so, like, unbelievable. And so, like, I responded... I responded to that person by saying this. I said, please describe exactly what it is you're doing to fight for transgender rights without using the word vote in any tense. And she deleted it. She didn't even respond. Incredible. Like, absolutely incredible scenes. So, you know, libs are living hard at the minute. They're living so fucking hard. What I missed in the chat? Vote for me and you die afterwards. Didn't clarify to Trump supporters that he doesn't care. I give up. Right, exactly, yeah. Liberals would order a pizza for a family and demand pepperoni, but the restaurant could also do half and half pizzas like a vegetarian or vegan pizza and go, damn, now we can't have pizza at all because you don't want pepperoni. Yeah, literally, yeah. Literally. They wore a ribbon. Wore a ribbon once. Liberals only care about the marginalized insofar as they can use them as props to make themselves feel better. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, TTK. Trigger finger. Itchy trigger finger. I hope she went home and rethought her life. Yeah, me too. Genuinely. Alright, let's crack on with this anyway.
The livelihoods of Palestinians in Gaza. Other crops include tomatoes, cabbage, and strawberries.
It's Rob Rousseau! It's Rob Rousseau! Oh my god, it's Rob Rousseau! It's Rob Rousseau! Rob Rousseau, thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing, Rob Rousseau? Oh, take off, you hoser! Bob broke my beer! Canada, I don't know. Rob always used to do this thing. He probably doesn't do it anymore. I didn't listen to what he said when I raided him last night because I had to go. Oh, it wasn't last night, it was the night before. So maybe he doesn't do it anymore, but he used to do this thing where he did a funny British accent. So now I do the funny Canadian accent in revenge, actually. So anyway, please go follow Rob. He's great and I love him, actually. And he was in a band that was in Kerrang. I didn't know that. That was a very interesting stream that we checked out, I think, before Christmas or, you know, around that time. Not sure. Welcome in. If you don't know me, my name's DJ Muel. I'm a leftist political streamer. I'm a housing activist. I'm a bisexual. I'm wearing my girlfriend's Udi. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. We're doing the Palestine updates. We're currently watching the GDF Israel's defense speedrun thing, reacting to that. We're going to be watching a bunch of other stuff. I think the new Big Joel video, which is about Palestine, Gaza. So yeah, welcome in everybody. We got Comrade Social Distancing. We got Moist Owlets, hello. We got Unelectable Airwaves, good to see you. Kijiji Genie, I think that's how you say your name. Just going to call you Genie if that's alright. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Anyway, that's that. Let's crack on. Thank you so much for the raid, Rob. I hope you had a good one.
Some plots were raised in a day.
I got told my accent sounds Canadian on Monday. It kind of does. It kind of does. Just found out one of our chatters was on Fat Wreck Chords for years. He should have led with that. I don't even know what that is. That sounds like super American. No idea.
Trees that yield citrus fruit, as well as the cacti that yield dragon fruit, take years.
So if you'd have led with that, it might have been a bit embarrassing.
Care to mature before they can yield fruit. High-resolution satellite imagery shows bulldozers were used to destroy fields and orchards. Tracks are visible, as well as mounds of earth on the edges of the former plots.
Punk label in the States. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Further understanding of the sheer desperation of the situation in a recent report on starvation. Comprising a sample of 1,200 people in Gaza, Euromed Monitor concluded that more than 71% of participants reported that they suffer from extreme hunger. 98% say they eat...
Oh, started by Fat Mike from NoFX. Oh, cool.
4% admitted they had eaten grass, immature, and expired food.
And I invite Mr. Omri Sender to address the court. You have the floor.
Access to water has also been a priority.
According to OCHA, or the UN Office for Coordination...
They really said this shit. Excuse me. They really said this shit. I knew I would get mad seeing the response. I knew I would. What the fuck has she got in here? Oh, okay. Oh, what's that? Oh, there's like a rotten bit of fruit in here. Oh, chat, my girlfriend's disgusting. What the fuck is this? What is that? Oh, that's vile. Oh, I don't want to wear this anymore. That's gross. Why she got that in here?
Humanitarian affairs. On November 4th and 5th, 7 water facilities across the
girl snack
sustained major damage, including 3 sewage pipelines in Gaza City, 2 water reservoirs in Gaza City,
oh god,
Jabalia refugee camp, and 2 water
Hey Ice Tray, welcome in. Yeah, Piers Morgan is wrong, Evergreen. Well, he he is still wrong, but I did hear that he finally, after having like many racist debates where he thinks he's very smart, but he decided to speak to like Palestinians or people of Palestinian descent or people with Palestinian family. He has finally said, actually, I'm not so sure about these Israel chaps. So that's interesting. He's still kind of wrong, but there you go. That explains the smell. No, my girlfriend just smells like this. My girlfriend just smells like this. So
the imminent risk of sewage flooding. Indeed, the targeting of water infrastructure prompted Euromed to describe Israel's campaign as a war of starvation.
He's changed his mind. Yeah, that's right. It can happen. Well, he did that thing. Didn't Bassem Youssef in that big interview in like November or October or whenever it was? Didn't he like? I'm fairly certain that like my girlfriend's stinky. Yeah, she knows this. I tell her this. She's not as stinky as me. That's a fact. Bassem Youssef said that like, oh, do you not remember that time when you like turned around and you said like, I don't know, something about the Iraq war, like, realized that it was like, it was really bad actually, Stop talking about the rice. Can we let the rice go, please? It just smelled a bit like his poo doesn't even smell anymore. The cat's poo, no one's going to understand what we're talking about. The Rob Rousseau chatters are going to be really upset with this. You weren't here, TTK. Chat was having a go at me because I thought the smell of my rice cooking was cat shit. So I went to the litter tray and it wasn't. Please, give me a break. I've had a stressful week. I've had a stressful week. I'm still having I've had a stressful life. Okay, anyway, cracking on.
His turns, including
what was I even talking about? What was I even talking about? I was talking about Piers Morgan when he changed his mind about Bassem Youssef was saying like, you changed your mind about the Iraq war. You said actually I don't think it's good and George Bush is bad and blah blah blah. Blah. Tony Blair, something. And I want to see you say the same about Palestine. And like, I don't know, he's kind of had like a bit of that happen now. So, don't say that on stream. Don't say what on stream? People just like, especially when it's in the YouTube chat. And like, the YouTube chat is very slow. And, I don't know when that was. I can't even tell when that message was. Was that recent? How do I find out? Channel activity. You can't tell what time someone posted a message in YouTube chat. What the fuck? Why? Why is that? Oh, Christ.
Northern half and bombing and destroying factories, bakeries, food stores, water stations, and tanks throughout the entire enclave. Prior to the ongoing Israeli war, 70% of the Gaza Strip's children suffered from varying health issues, including
9:31 p.m. 3 minutes ago.
However, Euromed monitors...
It's too late now. I've forgotten what I said 3 minutes ago. No idea. Sorry, moving on.
...increased to over 90% as a result of the...
Toggle timestamps, at least on the viewer end. Oh!
In the Ministry of Defense, in charge of monitoring...
Oh! Look at that!
COGET,
Thank you,
or the
TTK.
Office of Coordination of Government Activities in the Territories, is the unit in the Ministry of Defense in charge of monitoring the humanitarian situation in Gaza. In his words, here's COGET's director, Ghassan Alian, head of the Coordinator of Government Activities in the Territories, explained,
سكان غزة بدل ما يصدمهم الإشي عم بيحتفلوا مع هيك وحوش بشرية رايحين نتعامل كيف لازم مش راح يكون في عندكم كهرباء ولا مي بس دمار
You legend,
بدكم جهنم،
TTK.
راح تحصلوا على جهنم.
And I now invite Mr. Christopher Staker to take the floor. You have the floor, sir.
I next address the fifth requested measure. This specifies types of acts to be regarded as deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction. It seeks further impermissible implied rulings on the merits. For instance, it refers to so-called expulsion and forced displacement of Palestinians from their homes. This is an apparent reference to Israel's practice of issuing calls for civilians to temporarily evacuate areas of intense hostilities.
How is it temporary when they bomb the fuck out of their houses, making it impossible for them to return? Like, my man, you know, sometimes you look at people who went to study law and they did their bar exam and they become a barrister, yeah? And, you know, you ask yourself, like, why did you study law? Why did you do that? Did you do it so that there would be some kind of, you know, justice in the world? Or did you do that to defend criminals? Because my man is fucking defending criminals, you know what I mean? Horsewig detected. British moment, English moment. You know?
A measure to mitigate harm to civilians. This measure thus seeks the court's ruling that evacuation calls amount to expulsion and forced displacement of Palestinians from their homes.
That's because they
This is
are.
a small problem, as described by the Criminal Tribunal for Yugoslavia in the appeal judgment for Milomir Stakic. Although displacement for humanitarian reasons is justifiable in certain situations, the appeals chamber agrees with the prosecution that it is not justifiable where the humanitarian crisis that caused the displacement is itself the result of the accused's own unlawful activity.
Literally, that's the whole shit. So, okay, there's a precedent in the International Court of Justice. If they rule in the favor of Israel, the court is a joke. It's a lose-lose situation. Lose-lose situation. The empire is in decline.
With regard to Bosnian Muslims, the displacement was involuntary, and that, to the extent it had a humanitarian purpose,
solid precedent.
This was only because of a humanitarian crisis that the appellant himself had deliberately caused.
Right.
As the authority responsible for international law advice to Israel's government...
Who's this guy now?
I can attest that in contending with these challenges, Israel remains committed to international law.
You have to be joking! Why do all the top IDF officers say blatantly dehumanizing language so often? You'd think they had to attend those mandatory sensitivity training courses like everybody else. Yeah, it's just like, you know, they don't when it comes to Palestinians. They just don't. You know, Israeli society is unfortunately sick because of the nature of fascist society. You know, and I can say that because I live in the UK. Regev has already said that Israel won't accept the ICJ ruling due to the judges being biased. Yeah, it's also something that like Netanyahu said. Someone else has said it. Lots of people have said it. Lots of people have said it. So anyway, welcome to the stream, Fatumsh. It's a pretty good name, like that. This is a video called "Long Live Palestine." Arab-Israeli lawmaker roars in Israel's parliament, the Knesset, apparently. This is from 8 days ago. I've not seen this. So, let's see what this is. Yeah, they've already called him Hamas lawyers. I know, yeah. Everything is Hamas. Hamas is in the room with us right now, you know. Let's take a look at this undated video from the Israeli Knesset. Resistance against occupation is legitimate. Occupation is illegitimate. Oh, he's the Hadash chief. That's the party that guy Offer or Owen, I can't remember. Does anyone know that Israeli politician that was on Owen Jones's name? Offer or Omer or something like that. Not believing everything is Hamas is the most Hamas. That's true. You're right. Thank you for reminding me of that, Comrade Social Distancing. I learned so much about the history of the Holy Roman Empire and the Habsburgs last night, and it makes kind of sense now. But I still don't understand why European people let them do that. What? What are you talking about? Why did you say that? Oh, the Holy Roman Empire. Sorry, not the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. I still don't understand how that's relevant. Anyway, long live the Jenin camp, long live the Palestinian people.
אני מבקש לרדת, סיימנו דברים. רד למטה בבקשה, תורידו אותו. ימשיך להיאבק, תוריד אותי. אני יודע, רד למטה. תחזור למקום. הוא תקף אותם. הכל בסדר.
Trying to understand how colonialism evolved? Oh, sure, okay, yeah, fair enough. An undated speech of an Arab-Israeli lawmaker in the Knesset has gone viral. Ayman Odeh is the head of the predominantly Arab Hadash Ta'al Alliance in Israel. Yeah, same one that guy was from that we saw speaking. In a speech, the Arab-Israeli lawmaker calls out Israeli occupation of Palestine. Yeah. Also blasts Israeli crimes against Palestinian and Jenin and other West Bank areas. Lawmaker decide being heckled by Knesset members roars in Israeli parliament. Yeah, big up this guy, yeah. Big up this guy. Holy fucking shit, man. And he's forcibly removed. The video appears at least 6 months old, but has resurfaced on social media again. Oh, okay. So this is even before. This is even before the invasion of Gaza. Crazy, man. No way.
דם כולם על הכיבוש הארור שלכם. עכשיו זה מים מציונות מהתיישבות תל אביב. על הכיבוש.
Well, the thing is that like lots of this stuff keeps coming up and going viral because, you know, this is the first time that a lot of people are hearing about the occupation. Like, you don't even hear about Palestine. You know? You don't even hear about Palestine. You just hear about, like, you know, Israel. And so people who've never heard of Palestine before are now understanding this stuff. They're going, holy shit, that's pretty bad. You know, people who've heard about it and shit like that, like, you know, they're shouting about it louder and this kind of stuff. Trying to understand the mindset of the Westerner. Well, the thing is Kusagep, didn't you say yesterday that you're native? Like, I think like the best way that I can like try and explain like colonialism from the Western point of view is that it was all about imperialism, struggle for dominance and power, and that was kind of the consent was manufactured basically because, you know, you're talking about the Holy Roman Empire, but like even if you talk about the Roman Empire, yeah, the Roman Empire like systematically is the wrong word, systematically destroyed pagan culture all over Europe, which is like our indigeneity essentially. We have no idea what our culture is. We just have capitalism. We just have capitalism, colonialism, white supremacy. It's not a real culture. It's you know what I mean? And I think like the best way to understand it is that like with that becoming the culture, with that being the way that like the consent was manufactured, you know, the civilians basically like given. I've not always understood how you divorce people from land like that and get them to do it to others. Well, yeah, it was a systemic destruction. It was the witch trials as well. Like the witch trials was a huge thing. The Inquisition. You know, that's arguably why, actually, there was all that anti-Semitism in medieval Europe, and then later on in Eastern Europe, and then again in Central Europe in the 1930s. You know, like, because it was that, like, no, sorry, we need this, like, pure, put everything in boxes, etc., etc., etc. You know, it was a forced eradication. There are people in Europe who basically say that, like, France is a colony. It's a form of a colony. It's nowhere near the same as, like, what's happened to indigenous people all over the world in different, you know, colonized areas and countries and stuff like that. But it's similar in a way because, like, if you think about the Britannia language, for example, if you think about the Basque language, if you think about Catalan, if you think about all these different, like, you know, languages that exist in Europe and, you know, pagan culture and all that kind of stuff, just, like, you know, was completely wiped out. They still are trying to, like, stop. Do you know what I mean? They're still, like, trying to, like, stop them from learning about, like, their language and their history in it. Do you know what I mean? Graeber, raised in New York with a Zionist period Europe, with a Zionist Jewish family, has an incredible and heart-wrenching story about visiting Palestine for the first time. Yeah. I am Cali native, trying not to be destroyed by this thing. Thanks for answering for real. Yeah. The anti-Semitism medieval period Europe also stems from the laws around usury and stuff. That's ancillary to Muel's main point. Yeah. It was at the moment it suddenly occurred to me, someone who had grown up in a Jewish family in New York, fed almost entirely on Zionist propaganda, exactly what things must look like from the other side. Wherever we went, Palestinians would tell us all about different sorts of people they had historically welcomed to the Holy Land. Armenians, Greeks, Persians, Russians, Africans, Jews. They saw the Zionists as originally their house guests. Yes. They were the worst sort of house guests one could possibly imagine. Every act of hospitality of welcome is turned into license for appropriation. The world's most skillful propagandists leapt into action to try and convince the world that their hosts were depraved, inhuman monsters that had no right to their own homes. Such a situation, what could you possibly do? Stop being generous. But then one is absolutely existentially defeated. This is what people really meant when they talked about a life of calculated degradation. People were being systematically deprived of the physical, the economic, and the political means to being magnanimous. And to be deprived of the means to make that kind of magnificent gesture is a kind of living death. Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. A lot of early Eastern European anti-Semitism is as a result of the way medieval cities were designed. Jews were kept in a ring surrounding the nobility at the centre of the city to act as a buffer. That way, by the time genteel peasant riots would come near the centre, they'd have either petered out or been contained by the city guard. Right, yes, certainly. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They were definitely seen as, like, you know, less than white people in the, you know, emerging white supremacist, sort of Christian supremacist colonial oh my god, mindset is the word I think I'm looking for. Anyway, back to this.
הכיבוש מעוור, הכוח מעוור. אתם מתנהגים לא...
Basically, I think what I was trying to say with my original point. Well, no, because the imperial core wasn't, like, really present in medieval time. It was with some places, but not in the imperial core as we know it now. But, like, I think my point was to Kusagep was that, like, if you remove someone's attachment to the land, they essentially become a slave, right? Because they have no idea what their purpose is, what their spirituality is, where their roots are, where they come from, and who they are, right? I know that's true for me. I have absolutely no idea. The closest time that I ever come to, like, understanding, like, my connection to the land and where I'm from and shit like that is if I go foraging in the hills. That's the only time I feel, like, close to some kind of, like, I don't know, very, like, primal, you know, earth energy connection. I don't experience it any other time in my life other than when I meditate. And that's a very internal spiritual thing. So, you know, like, as soon as that happened in Europe, like, all the resistance to, you know, I mean, the resistance never really died. It just took different shapes. But, like, the main resistance to, like, Christian, you know, colonial attitudes, as soon as that died, as soon as that was defeated, then people just had to fucking listen to what they were being told. Otherwise, it was death, you know? That's why the main technique of oppression in all empires is moving people around. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not making excuses for people who went and colonized other lands, by the way. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you do want to understand the mindset, that's where it, I think, lies. You know, it's still vile and people still should have said no. It would have been more valiant to turn around and say, I will not be doing that. And being killed, hung, drawn, and quartered for it, or whatever. Hot poker up the fucking urethra or something. But, you know, that's why the main technique of oppression in all empires is moving people around. Yes, raise a legion in Africa, station it in Western Europe, ship kids off to schools, the other side of the country, etc., etc. Yeah, literally that. Remove the roots, that kind of shit. Excuse me. And again, that is, like, you know, bringing it back to Israel and the genocide in Gaza. That is what is happening. Israel is targeting journalists, poets, musicians, intellectuals, anyone who has any kind of, like, culture in Palestine. Any Palestinians who are, like, building culture, you know, doing science, research, all this kind of stuff, advocacy, activism. This is all culture. And they're deliberately targeting that stuff. You know, I think, like, ratio-wise, more press have been killed than civilians, if we're talking like a ratio. I think it was something like 1 in 100 people have died in Gaza, but 10 in 100 people, which is 1 in 10 people have died, press have been targeted, journalists. A great British example, in my opinion, is Boudica and the Husseini. We cling to them so hard that even people from other areas of England know about her. So, I know that Boudica was, like, I don't know, there's like a statue of her in London or something. I don't know much else beyond that. Anyway, cracking on. This is so based, by the way, that this guy is saying things like this accursed occupation in the Knesset. In the fucking Knesset. It's so based, actually.
אני מבקש לדבר יפה. אני מבקש לשמוע שקט, חברי הכנסת.
כי הוא צודק, כי הוא נאבק למען השחרור שלו. תפנימו שהאינטרס האמיתי של שני העמים זה בשלום. שלום, כלומר להכיר בזכות הלגיטימית של הפלסטינים להקים מדינה לצד מדינת ישראל.
Yeah, colonizers are warped human beings. They don't have magical powers, yeah. It's you know, it's something that I want to basically, like, talk about at length in the next Berserk video. It's about, like, the cycle of abuse and how that, like, basically creates power structures. Hurt people, right? And there has to be, like, a break in the chain in order for people to heal and for people to, like, recognize who they are and do right by other humans. It's very difficult because the people at the very head of our society are extremely hurt. Whether they think they are or not, they've been damaged and, you know, like, melted, like, changed by our system and the way that, like, you know, essentially just fucking destroys people. Like it just, you know, they're taught that this is right, this is the right way to act, and so they act that way, and it hurts others, and then they, you know, want that revenge. Revenge is different, I think, but like, you know, it's multifaceted. It's multifaceted. White homogeneity is a fucking curse, and it happened so long ago. Most of us have no idea what we used to be. I would wish this loss of roots on no one. Breaking that chain is one of the reasons I'm vocal about the shit treatment of indigenous peoples around the world. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's important. Like, it's happened to us, and look how we are. Right? You know? I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. You know? Just got back from work. Hey, Layla, what's good? Sick hoodie? It's not mine, it's my girlfriend's. It was very much based in East Anglia and her people after she raised Londinium and other places. That was found. Victorians manufactured a cultural identity created on her to some extent. Yeah, for sure. But like, she's just one native English person, right? And it's arguable like how native she was, because England was like invaded so many times by so many different places. The reason that England is called England is because of the Anglo-Saxons. Originally, it was the Celts, wasn't it? The Celts, the Picts, other indigenous people on Britannia that the Romans fucking destroyed. Oh, Boudica was Celtic. Yeah, that's right. Have you all seen the Stewart Lee bit about that?
The stuff we've broken.
Is the video broken? I don't know if the video's like this to like get around copyright or whatever, but it was just chicken tikka masala was voted to be like a national cuisine of Britain, because some like white guy in an Indian restaurant back in the day was like, "This curry's too hot, can you make it less spicy for me?" And it was like probably like a fucking, I don't know, like a dopiazza or something. And what they did was they put Heinz tomato soup, cream of tomato soup in there. So therefore making it incredibly British, unfortunately. You know, being like a product of immigration and also hatred of spice. So that's what he's referring to there. UKIP anymore. Tories are basically UKIP. This is the thing, like, UKIP basically pushed the Overton window of this country so far to the right. Well, actually, arguably, the Tories did as well. And that now means that the Tories were trying to... What were they trying to do? They were trying to get the UKIP vote because they realised that they weren't being reactionary enough for UKIP voters. And so they adopted all these like very reactionary policies. Now UKIP's like completely irrelevant. So the only like party that's sort of like to the right of the Tories that really exists is like fucking Britain First. But like I don't think even they have enough members to have like an MP anywhere that runs for election or whatever. I think that like I think they do have some people who run for election, MP election and council elections and stuff like that. I don't think they did disband after Brexit because technically we've not even done Brexit yet, right? If I could go back in time and prevent Farage from being born, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, for real. Slip some mifepristone in his mum's tea. Well, it's probably a golden crystalline diamante goblet of the most expensive wine you've ever drank in your life. Anyway, so yeah, you know, UKIP pushed it to the right. That's that. Hey, Duke of Blonde, good to see you. And then now we've got, like I say, Britain First, and also Lawrence Fox's embarrassing party. Lawrence Fox, we watched the stream of Lawrence Fox and some other racist guy last year, and they were just being like fucking gross. Keir Starmer's going to offer them a compelling Tory-like alternative. It's true. It's very true.
What's wrong with just
Cat, because he doesn't want to say because animal is too obvious, but then dog would be like too sort of like, oh, you know, you're trying to like say you're trying to say that, like, you know, dogs are bad and gross, blah, blah, blah. But cat is perfect, isn't it? It's like a perfect comedy punctuation point. What's wrong with Scoop? Literally master of taking it so far you've forgotten and bringing it home. Yeah, it's just, he's just so good. Link to this brilliant set, please. I could give you a link to this. That was 10 years ago, chat. Over 10 years ago that he said this. 2013, and it's still relevant. How is it still relevant? That just shows how progressive our society has been for the last 10 years. Very upsetting. I love this so much. Danish racists are just like this, trying to trace their families back to the bloody Vikings. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, excellent. Shit. It's just that's the whole like idea of anti-immigration condensed. It's just so good. It's a classic bit. I love how it was like, does anyone remember that Stewart Lee bit? And then we had to sit through 10 minutes of him doing the bit. It's not really a bit, is it, when it's 10 minutes? It's more like a chunk. I don't know. Back to this. Also, hi Kitty's playing. Welcome in. Good to see you. What's going on with old Loza these days? He's just a racist, isn't he? He's just a massive racist. I don't think Stewart Lee's ever had any small bits, no. Well, there we go. That was a very interesting bit. If you missed that, if you just joined us during the Stewart Lee bit and missed what that was a guy in the Israeli Knesset basically arguing, for the liberation of Palestinians, which is quite cool. Quite cool. And that was before the invasion of Gaza. This is Bassem Youssef, heated movements on Israel-Palestine conflict. I don't like that they called it a conflict. But I'm just like a little bit conscious that the time is getting on, and I do want to watch the... Oh, it's not a Big Joel video, it's Little Joel. This is my bad. That's my bad. I've been saying like fucking... It's Big Joel. It's not new Big Joel. It's new Little Joel. That's why everyone's been fucking coming in here saying, Big Joel, what are you talking about? I missed that. No, you were right. It's on Little Joel. It's on Little Joel. Anyway, Little Joel, definitely not the same person as Big Joel. There you go. Big Joel is just 3 Little Joels in a trench coat. It's true. Listen, I got to change the title. I think I best do that on... I think I better do that on... Restream? Edit destinations? Aha. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Anyway, there's a link to the channel in the chat. I'll put it in the YouTube chat as well. There you go. Please like, subscribe. Why am I not subscribed to Little Joel? Hang on a minute, that's not true. I'm definitely subscribed to Little Joel. I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know why that happened. This is Big Joel's second channel, Little Joel. Please like, comment, subscribe, show some love to our lefty YouTuber friends. This is the channel where Big Joel basically does like shorter stuff. little bit more like, you know, bits and pieces of thoughts. It's cool when a YouTuber has a second channel. I think it's pretty nice, where you don't have to do like that much stuff. But this video is called How to Justify an Atrocity, and I believe it is about Palestine, so it's relevant to the segment. So let's check it out. Let's see what he's got to say.
Alec Wallen is a philosophy and law professor at Rutgers University, and recently he wrote a very interesting article called Proportionality, Psychic Harm, and the Day After. The article is about the conflict between Israel and Palestine, about how we should decide which Israeli actions against Palestine are proportional. Now, I'm not an ethicist, and I'm not trying to imply I know more about philosophy than Wallen does, but the funniest thing about political philosophy, as far as I'm concerned, is that just anyone's allowed to do it. You literally cannot legally prevent me from doing this, and I think that's pretty dope. Wallen's paper is very odd. I think his argument has some pretty enormous problems, and I thought, you know what? Let's just go through it bit by bit. And with that, let's get started. So Wallen begins his paper by establishing a kind of moral conundrum. See, on October 7th, Hamas killed 1,200 Israelis. Israel then proceeded to occupy Gaza with the stated...
Well, I think this might be a little dated now, because there's more evidence come out to say that the 369 or so people who were killed at the Nova Festival was also the responsibility of Israel. So that number that just keeps going down. But anyway, 1,200 Israelis, that's how the argument's being framed. Also, it wasn't Hamas, it was multiple different people. I just hate how, like... I hate how the whole thing's framed. The whole thing is framed, you know, through the lens of Israel, right? Israel is saying, like, you have to talk about it like this, like how we're presenting it to you, innit? Oh, by the way, I should also mention at this point, this is my job, by the way, chat. I don't know if you've noticed. I need this to, like, live and survive. Please consider subbing off Twitch and giving me some money. I would really, really appreciate that. It means that I get to pay my rent. It means I get to pay my bills. It means that I get to eat. All these kinds of good things. And why do I ask you to sub off Twitch rather than actually subscribe on Twitch? Well, because Twitch is pretty bad. I was just reminded actually recently that there was a whole thing that came out about Twitch where staff were like saying that there was like a culture of sexism and bigotry and you know, all that kind of stuff with the higher ups, with management in Twitch and shit like that. And yeah, I don't doubt it for a second, based on my own, you know, personal experience and like seeing my friends get banned for, you know, doing all that stuff. Sadly, I cannot donate via PayPal anymore. You don't have to apologize for that, Vordrella. You don't have to apologize for that at all. Yes, I saw that you upped your Patreon dono to a custom higher amount, and I do really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, Cat Girl Steph with the £5.
This tip does not have a message. The text-to-speech lady is a liar.
She is a liar, and I'm glad that you're holding her accountable and calling her out for that. 2 more donos, and we'll have a mini hype train. You know you want it. If there's 20 people in this chat, and they donate £5, that means that we get £100. That means that we'll hit the midway goal. It means that we'll be unlocking movie night, which will be the 3rd movie night we're going to have this month. We're having one of them this weekend, another of them next weekend, and the other one after that. So there you go. It's kind of hidden in the Patreon UI, actually. You never know. You can if you don't go looking for it. Oh, yeah, what, like the custom dono thing? Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit crazy. You could also, like, just donate on Patreon as well, I think. I think you could just, like, directly give someone money on Patreon. So there you go.
Down. In this effort, by the time that Wallen wrote this paper, the IDF had already killed 12,000 mostly non-combatant Palestinians.
I might be wrong.
And Wallen supposes that as many as 30,000 might be killed before Hamas is finally defeated. And that is in a best-case scenario that assumes that Israel tries to restrict civilian deaths as much as possible.
Yeah, the conflict begins in October. No, it doesn't.
It is hard to see how Hamas could cause more than a few thousand deaths in the foreseeable future.
So, like, isn't that an issue? Doesn't that mean that Israel is acting disproportionately, causing much more harm than Hamas has caused, or is in fact capable of causing? As he writes,
Deaths to deaths, Israel's war is grotesquely disproportionate.
But Wallen looks at this case, compelling as it might seem, and says, don't be too hasty now, because you're not factoring in one really important thing: psychic harm. He writes,
Deaths are not all that matter. Psychic harm matters too. Hamas has shown that it is undeterrable. Thus, if Hamas remains in power, it seems likely that it is only a matter of time until it attacks again.
Gee, I wonder why Hamas are in power. I wonder why that is.
Living with that terror is a significant tax on the souls of Israelis.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Proportionality balance.
No worries, TTK. Thank you for being here.
Wants to argue in this paper that the harm caused by Israel could be proportional to the harm caused by Hamas when you factor in the emotional and psychological damage that Hamas inflicts on Israelis.
Here's a hot take. I argue that, in fact, if Israel decided to stop occupying Palestine, that Hamas would not want to take hostages and try and have some kind of a, prisoner exchange. Yeah, replace Hamas with the IDF and genocide to illegally occupy Palestinians would, of course, have emotional and psychological damage. Yeah, literally. Like, does psychic harm not exist for Palestinians? We were literally just talking earlier in the chat about, like, the drone shit. Like, the constant buzzing of drones. What do they call it? Like, Israeli drones constantly flying. The drones never sleep. It says in this article from the Electronic Intifada. Evenings when Israeli drones most often fly ahead. On this particular January afternoon, he softly explained why he's in acute fear of drones. The incident is very painful. Yeah, here it is. So, Al-Attar, in May 2019, he was working as a security guard at a wedding venue in Beit Lahia. He was taking a break with a friend, Khalid Abu Khalik, 24, when they saw and heard Israeli drones flying overhead, which was not unusual. Al-Attar thought the drones were just surveilling the area, but then the men felt the explosion. The explosion made a huge sound, and the shrapnel from the missile flew at us. Shrapnel hit Al-Attar in the eye and the legs. The pain was excruciating, but he mostly recalls his friend's cry for help. One moment, Al-Attar remembers, Abu Khalik was eating a meal and drinking coffee in a nearby shipping container. The next, debris and shrapnel had hit him in the head, and by the time an ambulance arrived, he was unconscious. It was while Al-Attar was retrieving treatment for his wounds at the hospital he learned of Abu Khalik's death. A subsequent Human Rights Watch report stated that Israeli drone had bombed a metal shipping container outside a businessman's villa and found that none of the individuals killed or injured by the Israeli strike had any ties to armed Palestinian groups. Doctors amputated Al-Attar's foot, and he now walks with crutches. He has 4 children, but he's currently unable to work, neither as a security guard nor on his family's farm, harvesting strawberries and grain. That constant threat that the drones flying overhead could just fucking blow you up, all the time.
Okay, then.
They don't stop.
Let's see if he sticks the landing. The first thing Wallen wants to do is establish the nature of the harm that Hamas is doing to Israel, why that psychic harm should be taken seriously. He writes,
The
that's right, Vaughn, yeah.
Experiences need not be that one will likely be killed. The fear need only be a source of ongoing significant trauma based in the thought that a substantial group of people just a few miles away are plotting and building the capacity to carry out a brutal attack that could target anyone in the country and that will likely kill thousands.
Okay, again, it couldn't... Joel's face here is like exactly how I feel. Couldn't target anyone in the country. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Palestinians' capabilities for like long-range combat are extremely limited. There's a reason that the people who died on October 7th were all around Gaza, like the Gaza Strip, yeah? And, you know, again, want to remind you, a lot of those people were military combatants, IDF combatants.
So already, I think we're off to a pretty rough start here. Like, okay, I agree with some of his logic. Even though it's extremely unlikely that any given Israeli will be killed by a Hamas attack, Hamas did cause many Israelis to be afraid. There's really no denying that. And making someone afraid is somewhat harmful to them. People don't generally enjoy experiencing fear. Still, this is a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? Wallen means to tell me here that the fear experienced by Israelis is so great that it makes killing like 30,000 Palestinians a proportional response.
Right.
Okay, whose fear? Like, are all the Israelis equally afraid? How afraid are they exactly?
Fanon had a lot to say about psychological effects on people, yep.
Go to work? Or are they all just screaming all the time because of the unbelievably low chance they'll be killed by some future Hamas attack? These questions may seem in poor taste, but we're comparing this stuff to killing, right? We need to get our math straight. And that's another subtle red flag here. Why is this hypothetical math so convenient? The fear Israelis have is potentially proportionate to their Palestinian killings? That just seems downright unlikely to me. How does Wallen come to the
pertinent read? Yeah, I imagine
might
so.
be the same amount of harm as 30,000 deaths and not 1,000 deaths or 200,000 deaths? Maybe Israel is being overly mild in its reaction. Who knows? None of this is a particular problem for Wallen, though, because when your entire moral calculus is based on some abstract and hard to pin down thing like the fear an entire nation experiences, you can kind of come to whatever conclusion you want. I mean, the claim that Israeli fear is equally harmful to 30,000 killings seems preposterous to me, but how exactly can I argue that position? It's completely vibes-based.
Yeah, vibes-based reporting.
Argument is that it ripens. When you first hear it, you think, well, that doesn't sound quite right, but then it just kind of gets worse and worse as you come to bigger and bigger problems with it. Let's go to the next paragraph, where Wallen continues to elaborate on the possible proportionality of Israel's response.
There are roughly 7
That's right, Jeremy Yu.
living in Israel now, most of whom seem to feel, based on my own informal discussions with Israelis, that living with Hamas operating on its border is intolerable.
Now, let's just say that Wallen is correct here. The majority of Israelis would describe the present situation as intolerable.
It's also like, it's so out of context, right? It's so out of context. Hey, Frazo, good to see you. Like, what they're saying is the majority of Israelis find it intolerable to live with Hamas operating on its border, right? But what they're being told is that every single Palestinian is Hamas, right? And what they're being told is that the Gaza Strip is a time bomb waiting to explode. They're being told that every single person who is born in Gaza has the capacity and probably will be a terrorist. They're probably already a terrorist before they're born. And the, you know, Hamas are like evil people who want to exterminate Jews all over the world, right? So they're having this constant propaganda, and it radicalizes them. So, you know, yes, if he spoke to most Israelis, they would say, yes, we hate Hamas, we want to see him killed, we want to see him destroyed, They would also say things like, we want to see all Arabs destroyed. I don't think Arabs and Jews should marry. I don't think even even Jews and Christians should marry. I don't think Christians deserve to live in Jerusalem. Zionism is a fucking horrific ideology. It's just fascism. So, you know, again, it's that like, oh, I asked all these Israelis what they think about Hamas and they hated them. Oh, wow. Great reporting, bro. Cool thesis.
intolerable. It's not like Wallen has real proof for this claim, but we'll allow him the assumption. In that case, I think we have to figure out what we mean by intolerable. What is the nature of this intolerability?
Right.
And what should it mean to us? That may seem like an odd question, but let me take a step back for a second. Wallen says that Israelis find living near Hamas intolerably frightening and traumatic, and that this psychic harm is why the IDF's actions in Gaza may be proportional. But given the fact that Wallen correctly thinks most of these 30,000 Palestinians will be non-combatants, people completely unrelated to the terror attacks, it only makes sense to ask a question. What if the shoe was on the other foot?
Yeah, exactly.
The only way Israel could
exactly like Kitty Splain said.
Was to sacrifice 30,000 innocent Israeli lives. Well, in that case, I suspect that living next to Hamas would suddenly become quite tolerable to Israelis. That at the very least, they would find it a lot more tolerable than killing 30,000 of their own people. I don't have objective proof for that claim, of course, but it seems quite obvious to me, and I'd be genuinely surprised if anyone disagreed with it. I mean, Hamas killing 1,200 Israelis was the traumatic event that started all this, so it's hard to imagine that people would see the killing of an additional 29,000 as an equal harm. But that's weird, right? Like, what's the difference here? In either case, Hamas's actions would be the same amount of terrifying, right? And in either case, 30,000 innocent people would be lost. Yet now, these events don't seem proportional to each other. At least they probably wouldn't seem proportional to most Israelis. So what's going on here? Well, it's obvious, right? Wallen acts like the enacting of psychic harm and the taking of human life can be compared so easily to each other. 7 million scared Israelis, 30,000 dead Palestinians, I guess that makes sense. No.
Right, it's so absurd when you say it out loud.
Moral calculus. To put it bluntly, the only reason the actions of Israel could appear proportional, the only way that
inconsistent moral calculus is a great phrase.
Israeli fear and trauma could be worth so many lives is if you don't care that much about Palestinian death. Okay, at this point the paper just goes right off a cliff. Because now Wallen has to attend to the most obvious objection to his case. If we are so worried about psychic harm, well, why are we only talking about the psychic harm of Israelis? Have the Gazans been experiencing some pretty intense trauma lately? This is what Wallen first says about the topic, and I'm just gonna make Dan read the whole thing to you. I'm so sorry, Dan.
To take that idea seriously, the idea being that Israel is justified in its full-scale war against Hamas, we have to suppose that they think that avoiding that insecurity is important enough to justify causing the collateral damage that will come from deposing Hamas. If we assume that will be around 30,000 deaths, then the implicit ratio the Israelis are invoking is something like 1 collateral death for every 200 Israelis who would otherwise live in a state of profound insecurity.
What?
That number needs to be adjusted, however, for those Gazans who will necessarily, no matter how the war ends, carry a similar, if not greater, psychic burden because of the war. Those who lost loved ones in the war presumably fit this description. Let us assume 10 Palestinians will carry that burden for every Palestinian who is killed. Let us add to that the number who are injured and who will carry that burden for the rest of their lives. Suppose that number is 5 times higher than the number killed. If we add those numbers together, we get about 500,000. If we offset the number of Israelis with a claim to avoid a psychic burden by that number, the number of Israelis...
I could barely stand this because the way it's framed is so bad. The way it's framed is like, it's like, you know, yeah, inconsistent moral calculus.
Whose psychic burden counts will still be close to 6 million. The ratio would still be something like 1 collateral death for every 200 or so Israelis who would otherwise live in a state of profound insecurity. I find that I cannot reject that as an unreasonable balance. In other words, once we count psychic harm, it looks like Israel's war
is a mindfuck, yeah.
Proportional.
So oh my god, it's proportional.
The obvious here, the method that Wallen is using to make his moral calculation is downright insane. Just unhinged ethics professor nonsense. Let me try to take you through it.
Yeah, if I make up numbers, the math works in my favor, yeah.
Closest to you in the world. Maybe you have a husband or a few kids. Maybe you have some best friends, some siblings, some parents. Think about the people who mean the world to you, who populate your days, who are there for you. Now, let me pose you a question. Which do you think sounds worse? Having me shoot one of those people blat blat right in the head, or living in your home in Israel for years while Hamas just continues to exist? Wallen quite literally places these two experiences as equal. In fact, he hinges his entire moral calculation on that assessment. And that truly makes no sense to me. For one thing, one of the main reasons to be afraid of Hamas terrorism is the negligible chance that one of their attacks could kill your loved ones. So how could you call that fear roughly as traumatic as one of your loved ones literally dying? But perhaps more importantly, it just goes against basic intuitions that I imagine almost everyone has. Like, speaking personally, I would just go to Israel. Like, if I had to move to Tel Aviv for work or something, and I otherwise wanted to move there, I would simply go and probably not even think about getting blowed up. On the other hand, if you killed my mom or whatever, I'd be pretty upset about that. That would actually really get to me. That's a microaggression in my culture. It's impossible for me to give a good estimate here, but I would think it would be about 10,000 times worse than living in Israel for a long time while Hamas still exists. And his strange calculations concerning the pain of losing loved ones isn't the whole problem. He also thinks getting literally...
It's also like, you know, like the word intolerable is used quite loosely here, right? Because he's trying to posit that, I spoke to Israelis, they said that living with the knowledge that Hamas exists is intolerable, it's causing them psychic harm, right? But the thing is that Israelis might have said something to the effect of, I despise Hamas and I want them to be destroyed. And he could say that that's intolerant because it is intolerant, isn't it? It's completely intolerant. So again, it's like this wordplay, etc. You know, if we don't let the Zionists complete their genocide, they will be sad. So it's totally moral, actually. That's literally what this fucker's saying. Literally, absolutely bizarre. I think I had another point to make, but I forgot it.
Psychically harmful to worrying about Hamas while living.
Yeah. No. He's positing that it's like Israelis are living in fear every day of their lives. If you look at people living in Tel Aviv, yeah, they are fucking living it up. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about Hamas, Palestinians, whatever. They couldn't give a shit because they got that fucking Iron Dome. They, you know, if you don't know what the Iron Dome defense system is, you know, there's no way that they would be under any remote amount of threat from any kind of like rocket coming from Gaza, rocket coming from the West Bank, anything like that. Because it just gets shot down immediately. Yeah, like Mr. Dank says, he's been there, they're not scared. This is it, you know? Like, you know, the thing is that like Jewish people, if they want to go on birthright, they could go to Israel. Every Jewish person is like told this. You know, if they have like a Zionist rabbi, it's very, very common. You know, when they go to like, you know, I think it's called shul, or I might be wrong. It's like a thing on Saturdays, like Sunday school kind of thing. But like, you know, to feel safe enough to go there, there would have to be a lot of information that you had that'd be like, oh no, you'd be completely safe. Don't worry about it. We have the most, you know, advanced defense systems in the entire world. We've got a lot of money that comes from the US and the UK to protect us. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. You know, they would have to be really, really reassured that that would be like okay to do. And a lot of the times they are reassured because it is very safe for most Israelis to like go to it. Well, for most Jewish people to go and settle in Israel. It's very safe for most Israelis.
I find preposterous on its face. And then there's all the other stuff that he doesn't even mention. What about the lasting psychic harm of being evacuated from your home, as more than 1 million people have been? How about having your home or office bombed? Nearly 40,000 buildings have been destroyed, and even if those buildings are repaired after years, these things will leave lasting trauma on people. And I could, of course, go on here.
Sorry, you're right, Prince Infidel. Not every Jewish person. Jewish people of color are often denied citizenship. That's correct.
And psychic.
It would be remiss of me to not mention what Prince Infidel's saying there. Jewish people of color are often denied citizenship. So, yes, white Jewish people
will no doubt last a lifetime.
Ashkenazi Jews.
Wallen, your math does not add up.
Or just like a white guy from Germany who decided to like convert, because that's a literal story that I've heard. You know, you could just convert to Judaism and you can just go and live in Israel if you're white. It's literally a thing. Yeah, they fucked over Ethiopian Jews. They fucked over like Sudanese Jews as well. Like I want to say, I might be wrong. I mean, they desperately want to like invade Sudan. That's true. Mizrahi Jews as well, you know.
Really bad job with it. This is a moral calculation that takes Israeli feelings to be orders of magnitude more important and worthy of consideration than Palestinian lives and Palestinian feelings. Yes, I'm wearing a different sweater now. No, that's not going to stop me. We're keeping on going. Okay, at this point in the paper, Wallen pulls back and responds to a possible objection to his argument. Well, he responds to two, actually, but I'm only interested in the second one. He writes,
"An objection is that there is no need to get to the issue of proportionality because the necessity condition is not met. It is not met because there are less harmful ways to reduce the terror from Hamas. It can be either degraded or contained. The response to this objection is that it seems false. Israel has degraded Hamas, killing or imprisoning its fighters or leaders before, and it has come back stronger, and it has tried containing it too."
It's so funny, like every single person who wants to be like, I'm gonna like academia brain this. Yeah, I'm gonna academia brain this whole situation. You know, I've been to university, I've got my like postgraduate degree. I'm about to like, you know, really get the intelligence down. They just refuse to look at it from a material point of view, based on not just materialism, but also like geopolitics and imperialism. Colonialism. It's a colonial occupation. You know? Right. Has Israel tried making Hamas redundant by ending its occupation? Literally. This is it. It's never done. It's never framed in the way that is factual, which is that it is an occupation. An illegal occupation, by the way. Shouldn't be happening. Illegal by international law. Has been illegal since 2004. The story I read, they lured them into Israel, promising them citizenship in exchange for like a 7-year work contracts. And when that was up, the state said, no, oh, yeah. Ethiopian Jews? Yeah, for sure.
It has had a blockade in place since 2007 aimed at preventing Hamas from arming itself. The attack of October 7th showed that the blockade failed. And even if better border security might have contained that attack, making this war unnecessary, Hamas can learn from past mistakes and find new ways to attack. It is not unreasonable to think that Hamas must be deposed for Israel to prevent it from attacking again.
Okay.
All right, Baz, thanks for being here.
What Wallen's saying there,
see you later.
Look, you might think Israel's occupation is unnecessary because there are other ways of getting rid of Hamas's threat, but no, that doesn't seem true. We've already tried jailing them and blockading them, and at this point, it seems the only way to exterminate the threat of Hamas is to launch this big war. So, as far as I'm concerned, Wallen is making two pretty big, unjustified assumptions in this argument, and neither of these assumptions are too hard to spot, in my opinion. First, Wallen is here arguing that some military action is necessary to depose Hamas, but in the rest of the paper, Wallen goes much further.
Hey, Thazadar, how you doing?
That killing 30,000 mostly non-combatants will probably be necessary.
It will have to kill thousands more.
And Wallen's paper is about defending that second claim, arguing that killing those 30,000 is proportional. You see the problem, right? Even if we agree that some military action is necessary to neutralize the threat of Hamas, that would not inherently mean that 30,000 mostly civilians need to die to achieve that goal. Wallen simply does not argue for the likely necessity of killing that many people.
Long day finally over-ish. Good to hear it.
Later on in this article, Wallen claims that the current Israeli government is, quote,
stocked with genocidal extremists.
But if that's the case, why would you essentially give that government the benefit of the doubt as it kills thousands of the people it's genocidal?
He actually says that in the paper? That's fucking nuts, man. Like, anyone could just say anything, can't they? They could just say whatever they want. Like, oh, the Knesset is full of genocidal freaks. But I truly think that they're doing their best to make sure that to do what they can to make sure that Hamas is actually being targeted and not like civilians. Like, come on, what like level of disbelief, suspending your disbelief is like happening here?
No, these guys committing genocide need to kill 30,000 people if they want to take out Hamas. I believe that number. Why? I'm not a military strategist, but neither are you, Wallen, so I don't know why you're making this massive assumption. Second, and I think this one is much, much more important, why is Wallen so sure that a big occupation that kills all these people will be effective at destroying the threat of Palestinian terrorism? Before October 7th, around half of Gazans lived below the poverty line, they were massively unemployed, and they faced incredibly stifling economic sanctions. Now, the conditions are far worse. Thousands and thousands have been killed, traumatized, left grieving for loved ones, homes and neighborhoods have been destroyed, a massive number of lives have been ruined. Now, maybe Wallen is right. Maybe all we have to do to make sure October 7th doesn't happen again is to kill the political organization that did it. But maybe he's wrong. Maybe he is unbelievably wrong. Maybe the violence Israel is carrying out against Gaza will only make them more radical and more likely to commit violence against Israelis.
Whoa, what
After
then?
all, who is more likely to endanger himself in the quest to murder an Israeli? Someone with a home and a family and security, or someone whose life has been destroyed and who lives in hell? Wallen writes later in the paper,
Hamas is now more popular than ever among the Palestinians because it fights for their dignity.
And he cites an article making the case for that point. But if he believes that, why would he assume that more Israeli killing and bombing will solve the problem?
This is what happens when you have a country that is like so based on so based on false consciousness that they are repeated and repeated in the airwaves. Parroted by absolutely every single liberal to conservative talking head that you could possibly imagine on every single news, website, show, newspaper, like literal, like print. It gets to a point where it's like it starts to infect other people's heads. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to start just doing false consciousness. I'm just going to start doing false consciousness. I've got no idea what's actually going on, and I don't care. I'm not going to do any research. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm literally just going to, say what they're saying and take that as fact.
In his argument, Wallen goes over a list of things Israel has tried in its effort to neutralize Hamas.
Israel has degraded Hamas, killing or imprisoning its fighters or leaders before, and it has come back stronger. And it has tried containing it too. It has had a blockade in place since 2007 aimed at preventing Hamas from arming itself.
And of course, he's right, so maybe we have to try something else now. Okay, in the last paragraphs of his paper, Wallen wants to make one thing clear. He doesn't know that Israel's actions are proportional. In fact, he claims the only way that Israel's actions can be proportional is if they treat Gaza well after Hamas has been destroyed. He writes,
"How could the misery the war is inflicting on Gazans not fully offset the psychic gains for the Israelis? The answer is that it could count for less if, for most Gazans, it is much more short-lived psychic pain than that which the Israelis would otherwise suffer. But the only way for it to be much more short-lived is if Israel takes it upon itself as soon as possible to reassure the Gazans that Gaza will not only be rebuilt better than before, but it will be set free as part of a two-state solution. The alternative, in which Israel simply goes back to occupying Gaza, imposing daily humiliations on the Palestinians, would leave the Gazans with at least as much psychic burden as that which the Israelis seem to want to cite to justify their war."
Looking at these final thoughts, I think they
That was a whole lot of fucking shit.
Agreeable. Wallen is not uncritical of Israel. He doesn't wholly support its government or its treatment of Palestine, and it is entirely plausible from Wallen's account that Israel's actions...
Same attitude US has to US natives. Absolutely.
Ends the paper.
Absolutely.
Citizens should seize this opportunity to change course and make good faith efforts to establish a two-state solution, and outside powers that have some influence in the region should do what they can to pressure Israel to pursue that path towards peace. If it does, it may find Palestinian partners, but if it does not, then it deserves condemnation for waging a disproportionate war.
To be clear, I think that...
Yeah, again, the context. Like, you know, it's been very effective the way that the manufacturing of consent has taken everything out of context. Sorry, I'm just distracted because the boy is lying there. I think he knows. It's really funny because when I'm not working, when I'm not streaming, by the way, I am working, so please consider giving me money. It would be really cool. It would mean that you know, I could keep streaming and I wouldn't have to get a job or some shit like that. Anyway, please consider giving me money. I need it. Think of the boy as well. Think of the boy. I'm not seeing many people thinking the boy. But like, I think that like he knows when I'm working. And because normally if I'm not working and he's hungry, he'll come up and he'll be like, meow, meow, like he does this like little hungry meow. But like when I'm working, he just kind of lies there. Let me see if I can. I knocked my webcam off before. Oh. When those fucking liberals were here. Oh my god. He's just literally like. Let me get this up. Wait, what? Oh, who's that?
Money for working person.
Huh. Tasmadar, thank you so much for the £15. Holy shit. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. And thank you so much for subbing off Twitch and off YouTube, technically. Thank you very much. That's really cool. Look, there's Tom. Excuse me. Yes. He's just like, you know you should be feeding me, bro. Oh, he's the cutest boy. Tommy Twos, come on, let's get you. Come on. Come on, let's get you up. Let's get you up here. Come on. Come on, baby boy. Look what I've got. Come on. Yes. That's right. He's having a little scratch. Polite boy. He knows not to interrupt dad while he's working. That's right. Your boy sounds like the most cat ever. He's very cat. He is very cat. Come on, baby boy. Go on. You know what to do. That's a good boy. Yeah. Can everyone see you? There he is. Oh. Oh!
Please accept this holy number as sustenance for spirit and body.
Gunma Master, thank you so much for the Homestuck amount. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One more donor and we'll have an unofficial hype train. Holy shit, chat. We're really close to 200. Oh, the boy wants to travel. He loves traveling. Are you going to give some purrs to the microphone? What do you think? Hey? Yes, you very may well reach for the Dreamies bag, but you won't be able to get it, will you? Hey? Careful, buddy. Don't want you to hurt yourself. He's had enough of that now. He's fucked off. See you, mate. Oh, he really wants his dinner. Really wants his dinner. Let's finish this video real quick, and then I'm gonna have to go and give him his dinner. We'll have to miss out on the
meaningful that Palest1ne ends on this idea.
Like the Jaws intro, yeah.
I think this conclusion is
hey Carpe, how you doing?
It might seem, and that's for two reasons. First, I just don't think it's true. I just don't agree, obviously. The harm Israel is doing to
Go follow Copy
right
Packs,
now
everyone.
is extreme and will last an extremely long time. If Israel does wish to rebuild Palestine, this will take years and years, and people will suffer tremendously in the meantime. The trauma of this experience will not go away when the conflict ends. Even in the realistic best-case scenario, I don't think Israel's actions are proportional. Second, I just don't buy this whole thing. I don't know. See, while I don't think lasting peace in this region is impossible, I do think it's very strange to hinge your political assessment on it. The fact is, given its history and given the attitudes of its people, I think Israel is quite unlikely to rally around a two-state solution or to build a better Gaza in the aftermath of this occupation. Say I accidentally lost my friend's keychain, so he burned my house down, but afterward he bought me a new big Mr. Beast house to enjoy. Were his actions now proportional? I mean, maybe, since he repaired so much of the harm he did, but that's not a very insightful political commentary, in my opinion.
No,
Look,
I agree.
I don't know what Palest1ne believes in his heart of hearts. I don't know what his true policy desires are vis-a-vis Israel, but that doesn't really change the project of this paper. Palest1ne wants to argue that Israel's actions in the here and now are proportional and necessary, that the fear and trauma
yeah, that's right, Watcher, yeah.
is equal to the harm caused.
What's going to last a very long time? The people that died on October 7th being dead. Yeah. Also, the people in Gaza being dead is going to last a very long time, isn't it? Yeah. What's your point?
Occupation. He argues this position poorly, and that makes sense. The claim that making a lot of people afraid can be a just cause for killing 30,000...
Oh, wow. This account was created on the 16th of October 2023. That's interesting. What inspired you to create your account a week after October 7th? What was that?
In Gazan seems preposterous on its face.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Only makes the problem worse. Palest1ne uses a sloppy, unintuitive, and frankly biased moral calculus. And if Palest1ne's argument now hinges on Israel being a perfect, beneficent angel in the aftermath of this conflict, that doesn't make his case more reasonable. It just means that he sees, on some level, that it is unreasonable. This video is much longer than I thought it would be. It took a much longer time than I thought it would, and so we'll end here on a quick note. I've spent this entire video just accepting Wallen's numbers. 30,000 Palestinians, mostly non-combatants, will be killed. In truth, I think this is a vast and obvious understatement. Evacuating more than 1 million people, bombing thousands and thousands of buildings, personally, I believe these actions will come with a far greater human cost. Because of this, I feel the need to ask, Dr. Wallen, how many deaths will it take for you to condemn Israel?
Yeah.
Let's turn though to
that's right.
Story.
That's fucking right. Okay. Chat, thank you so much. It's been real good. I'm just gonna ban this very obvious Hasbro account because, you know, they're probably gonna try and get me fucking banned somehow. And I can't be doing with that. I'm already struggling for money. I could do with like less of that worry in my life. It's the end of the stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for you know, being here, supporting that kind of thing. Fraser says, I'm a bit sad that Joel never talks about the number 1200 from the beginning being inflated and how a chunk of the actual deaths on October 7th were by Israeli hands. I mean, it's obviously inaccurate, and like, you know, if he wanted to, he could say that, of course. But I think, like, for the purposes of the video and him, like, you know, talking about the paper in a way that, like, is within the paper's argument helps to, like, destroy it a little bit more. Because if you actually, like, argue within that guy's framework, within the way that he's thinking, it's still, like, completely ridiculous. As he says, the moral calculus is inconsistent. And I think that's valuable. I still think that's valuable. I understand your frustration at that, but I'm not, you know, I'm not too bothered by it. So let's go raid someone. Let's see who's streaming right now. I'm sorry that I didn't get to the British stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't get to the British update. Yeah, but we'll do that tomorrow. It is Thursday tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, Thursday. This is going to be the first week in a while that I've done a full week of streaming. Can you believe it? Oh my god, I might actually start to get more viewers this year. Who knows? Anyway. Let's have a look and see who's streaming right now. Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? Who do we got? So many fucking heads. Holy shit. Who can I raid? Christ alive. I haven't watched streaming watched Twitch in such a long time that I'm kind of like sat here like, do I know who any of these people are? do I know how, any of these people's, like, politics anymore? I don't even know. I genuinely don't even know. Oh my god, Awesome Games Done Quick is happening! I did not know that that was happening. Oh, fuck, I gotta start watching Twitch this week. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm halfway through the week. I've missed all of it. Again, this happens every fucking year, chat. Every year, it gets to the first week of January, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Awesome Games Done Quick, and then I miss it. Anyway, never mind. Who am I gonna raid? 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 We're gonna raid Suspenders. Suspenders is my good friend. She's absolutely wonderful. She's absolutely beautiful. We are gonna raid her. She's playing The Sims 4. Which is very exciting. I'm going to put the link to the stream in the YouTube chat. There you go. So if anyone wants to join us from YouTube, that would be really, really cool. Please, please, please come and show some love to Suspenders because she's absolutely wonderful. And yeah, I genuinely love her content. She's very, very sweet. You will enjoy it. If you enjoy gaming, you will enjoy it. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, check me out on the socials. Yeah, I'm back on Twitter again. Don't tell Elon Musk. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Patreon. Now is a particularly good time to join my Patreon, and I'm not just saying that so that I get more money. I'm saying that because legitimately, I have a bunch of interesting, unique, behind-the-scenes content coming tomorrow, and it's already dropped. Some of it's already dropped today, and on Friday as well. There's going to be some more video content dropping there too. So check me out all on the socials. Thank you so much, everybody who donated, rated, subbed, hosted, followed, all that kind of stuff. Really, really appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Mwah. Stay excellent to each other. Peace, 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 peace. Good night.
I'm straight up about to steal from Summer. Hold on.